at TonyBasilio.com or on your smartphone or tablet. Another thrilling, chilling, and sometimes spilling edition of The Basilio Show is on the way next. Tips are always appreciated here at TonyBasilio.com.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
Tony Basilio welcoming you to the Tuesday edition. I think it's D-Day for Tony Vitello. I think something's going to happen today is my sense of this. I'm not sourced in that in any way, so to speak. I just have a feeling that today's going to be a day one way or the other. I think that Tony is in the process today of trying to figure out one way or another what he's going to do. And it's extremely interesting. And depending on who you talk to, and I'm sure you're like me, you're asking people that you know that have an interest in it. Depending on who you talk to, he's either staying or going. You know why? Because that's what he's doing. In his mind, he's either staying or going. This is not an easy decision for him. In fact, it's a laborious decision for Tony. I just have a feeling today it's going to happen. I don't know. Nobody's told me that. Just my instinct, being around stuff like this enough. I don't know. Matt Dixon, you know, you and I got on here when the news first popped on Saturday. I know you've been covering Tony for several years. What is your sense of what's going on right now? What do you think?
I think he's probably really torn on what to do. Being on campus, going through practices the last few days probably doesn't make it an easier decision. Probably makes it harder. Mm-hmm. I think he's obviously their top choice, and the job's his if he wants it. It just is whether or not he ultimately decides to take it or not. And that's a decision that really only he can make. And I'm sure it's weighed on him. He probably hasn't slept in a number of days. It's probably killing him to figure out what's the right decision for him. It's almost too good of an opportunity to pass up, but he also has something extremely special that he's been building here. And he probably never at any point since he's been at Tennessee ever dreamed that this opportunity would come around, because it's just never come around for a college coach before. So, but he's that special that, and it's, the Buster Posey thing, and just, Drew Gilbert being out there, I think has played a factor in this as well. That when they see what he kind of did for that locker room, and you can kind of get the guy that, the head coach version of that, really. So I don't know. I've been really depressed over it, because it would really suck to lose him. It would be, I don't know if devastating's the right word, but it would feel devastating at least.
Yeah, it's a really interesting thing. I wanted to let your comments breathe there, because I think it's worth reflecting on that. Think of a Knoxville, think of a sports landscape without him in it. It seems, John Adams is here, presented by Jennifer Morris, Next Move, SmokyMountains.com. And John visited with Jen yesterday, so he's going to sound extra smart today because she will infused him with some. She will have infused him with some very, very interesting stuff. I told Matt before you jumped in, John, and John just got here. I think today's the day we're going to hear something. That my sense of this whole thing, the Giants aren't going to wait forever. There's a break in the action now with Major League Baseball. I think Tony is highly conflicted. Tony confused his kids the other day when he met with them on Saturday when that stuff broke. And something that Tony's camp put it out. I haven't really talked about it till now because I wanted to let the Alabama game sort of breathe. You know, we had the post game, and then we had the post mortem yesterday. And
How did that game breathe? Is there some heavy breathing going on there?
Yeah.
Then in the first half, there were people gasping for breath.
So I just today I just wonder what's going through his mind, because I'll be honest with you, I don't think he's made a decision.
Well, Tony, my wife has been very distraught over it.
Yeah.
Yeah, she asked me last night.
Yeah.
She said, well, I guess I'll have to become a Giants fan. What are their colors? Well, here's the thing. Fortunately for Tony, he's trying to decide between two great jobs. How many people are in that position?
That's right.
Yeah, I was thinking back. It's really hard if you like your job. It's really hard to leave it for another job because I've been in Knoxville since 1987, so I haven't been going anywhere. But before that, I was moving around. I mean, all the time, 7 or 8 jobs, and I'm thinking 1, 2, 3, 4 jobs I turned down the first time. I turned them down and then changed my mind and took them. And one I took, changed my mind, and then took it. It's really hard making these decisions. You make a list and you say all the positives and minuses. You always eliminate anxiety because anytime you're making a change, there's going to be a certain degree of anxiety. So you scratch that out. But you look at what Vitello's trying to choose from. I don't think he can ever again have what he has in Knoxville. Doesn't mean he can't have another great job or a great situation, but this is so unusual, a relationship between a coach and a whole town. He's the toast of the town. He's not just a really successful coach. His charismatic personality. The women love him. Let's face it, he's really good looking.
I love him.
Yeah, Tony does, yeah. And you never give me a second look, but you like Tony Vitello. So it's a very unusual situation. And Tony Vitello, he really bonds with his players. And so he's brought all these players in here, and I think that's something that would weigh on his mind. All these, you talk about you make your college choice based on schools, but it sounds good, but the coach, if you're drawn to a coach, I think players come here more for Tony Vitello than they do for Tennessee. There's just not a knock on Tennessee, but it's just a fact. People are drawn to him, and he really cares about his players. Some people pay lip service to that and pretend to care about them, but he really does. I think it would be hard for him to just leave all that. But on the other hand, you've got this once in a lifetime opportunity. To go to Major League Baseball, and if that's what he wants, this job isn't perfect, but I don't think it's so good that I don't think he would leave it unless he really in the end thought, I want to try this major league thing. We talked about this before. If he goes to Major League Baseball and doesn't like it, he can do a Nick Saban 180 and said, no, college football is what I'm about, not pro football. And he could come back and he'll coach somewhere else. But I don't think he can have his. It's hard to believe he can have a better situation in college baseball than he does here.
This place is so him, and he is so this place. I've told him that. You know, it's weird. I can't picture Tennessee baseball without him.
Well,
I just can't.
You saw what Tennessee baseball was without him.
Matt, can you picture that? Can you picture looking over there in that dugout this spring and not seeing him there, or not hearing him on here and all that stuff?
It'd be a very jarring thing to have to get used to. No, I mean, not really. I mean, even if they just would promote Elander and kind of keep everything the same, it would just feel totally different.
I'd feel so sorry for Elander if he got the job. And look, we'd put our arms around him and root for him and cheer for him. But, man, how would you like to be the guy following him?
Huh.
I mean, I'm not sure I would take the job if I were him. I'm being serious. I mean, he's had other opportunities. I'm not sure.
He's had really, really good opportunities that he's turned down.
Yeah,
But here's the thing. I think you almost if Tony leaves, you have to give Elander the job, unless he just doesn't want it, and I think he'll take it. Because if you make him interim coach, I wouldn't. If I were in his position, I wouldn't accept an interim coach's job. You got to give it to him. Give him the whole thing. You can't just say, well, maybe this guy will be good. We'll see. Because if you don't hire him, this thing falls apart, and you've invested millions and millions of dollars in Lindsey Nelson Stadium. These players, it's going to be like nothing we've seen in college baseball if they wouldn't hire him, and players wouldn't stick around. They could go anywhere they want.
So here's what I want to know is what you, the living listener, thinks. People you've talked to in the community, concerned citizens, etc. Brian Hartman, can you picture a world without Tony Vitello in it here locally?
Well, I did see it prior to 2018, and part of me just comes to think that this whole thing just could be a power play, that he never intends to leave anywhere. There is that train of thought out there. I believe somebody from the Lady Vols stepped up in ways they were never going to step up for Kelly Jolly. They saw what Kim could do after 1 year, and they thought, I'm getting behind this. I think Tony wants someone that backs baseball to do the same thing. I think there could be that. And also, this new stadium has to factor into this somehow. He's got this new stadium coming here. And I know the San Francisco Giants job and a new stadium in college aren't the same thing, but something's got to give.
Well, Matt had a really good point over the weekend. Matt, how long's the stadium been under construction now? Because it's still not done. It's not going to be done this year.
I mean, it's going on like 5 or 6 years.
You didn't know that, John? It's not done.
And I know that there's a lot of red tape they have to go through with it.
No, it's not done.
Being the public university and all that.
It's not done.
But just the visual of Randy Boyd getting that Smoky Stadium built downtown in less time and having it ready and it being, top of the line and for their level, like that's just a really bad like combo to have with everything being drug over there at Lindsey Nelson, and they blame it on KUB and all this. Like that's it. The stadium needs to have already been ready, and it's just not. And I'm not sure there's anybody at fault there because again, a lot of red tape and you have to do a lot of stuff at the state level. But that has to be frustrating as hell for him to know that there's a stadium in downtown that got built that's just immaculate, and yours is still, you got cranes hanging from it when you're playing super regionals and regionals.
Could it be just the lay of the land is more easier, just to speculation?
I don't know if any of us are qualified to speak to construction.
Tennessee's got a
There's just not as much space where Lindsey Nelson is.
Tennessee's got an
I don't know.
Tennessee's got an early afternoon practice scheduled. So, and I do think you can officially say he's on the clock now with the Giants. I mean,
it will happen today, won't it? Don't you believe?
I mean, that's my belief is we're going to know something today. Now, did not come from him. I don't think anybody around him knows, but he's a very mercurial, interesting person. And the Giants job presented itself at a time where, look, if it makes people feel better to rip me online because I don't worship an athletic director, go for it. Okay? You go for it. I'm not going to simp for a guy because he's an athletic director at my school. And I think Danny White's done a lot of good things, and I've pointed those out. But his handling of this baseball deal has kind of sucked. His handling of a national championship coach has kind of sucked. I mean, I'm just going to call this what it is, okay? Now, ultimately, is this going to determine whether or not Tony Vitello goes? If Tony Vitello goes to Major League Baseball, it's because he wants to go to Major League Baseball. It's not Danny White's doing. But Danny White has created an environment where Tony is more than entertaining possibly doing this. And that's why the Donde Plowmans of the world, because they know what I know, which is the relationship between those two isn't very good. And I'm going to jump in there and make sure this guy understands, because Danny's not going to tell Tony, we need you to stay. Danny wants a guy to go. I'm sorry. Listen, you get mad at me for saying that. You can get mad at me for writing that. You can get mad at me all you want.
Do people get mad at you?
Hey, Matt, people don't believe things like that, Matt. But you think Tony Vitello is a Danny White kind of guy, Matt? You think Tony is an institutional guy in any way, shape, or form?
Well, no, of course not. Of course not. You can see that there could be friction there. Yeah, obviously, and not being a Danny White hire probably plays into that some.
Of course.
But again, it's a generational coach that is the best in his sport, and to not treat him, like he runs Knoxville is just a misstep on Danny White's part.
Which is what he's done.
Yes, but you brought it up. For one thing, Randy Boyd, the president, is a baseball guy. As you said, he just built a stadium
in 30 days.
He beat the Arc.
I mean, it was unbelievable.
Yeah. Okay.
How quick the stadium went up.
And then Donde Plowman has really good people skills.
Incredible.
Never had a chancellor like that in Tennessee.
Rock star.
Really good people skills. So, both of those people realize Tony Vitello's value. Mm-hmm. They know what his connection is with the whole town. It's not just about baseball. So I think they would do everything they could to keep him. They'll do whatever they can to keep him.
Yeah.
Now I just don't believe Tony would make a decision like this just because some part of his job wasn't exactly what he wanted to be, or whether there was friction with the AD. Not in the big picture, because my gosh, if you're looking for adoration, you got it here. I don't know if you can ever match that anywhere else. It would be hard. But when you look at it, if, as you said, if he really wants to be a Major League Baseball manager, you Those opportunities don't come along often. This is your shot. He's at a good age to make a move.
Yeah.
He doesn't have personal ties where beyond his friendships and his
Yeah.
baseball family, there's no reason that he's uh, shackled to Knoxville. So
That actually, John, is probably what makes it more likely to happen, because most successful college baseball coaches have had like families that they would probably not leave for. And him being single,
yeah, he could just
My understanding is the Huntley guy that they offered the job to didn't want to take the managerial job because he has young kids. He has a family. And he knew the sacrifice, having played that sport, because I think he's with the Ranger organization. But I believe that he just said, ironically,
well,
here's the way Tony regards this thing, though, because I've talked to him. People think it's hokey. I know they do. He thinks that this is his family. I wrote that today in the blog. Now he's got an immediate family. He's got Greg and his mom and his sister, and they're cool, It's a neat family. But in Tony's world, this is his family. And a lot of people in this community are like family to him. It's just the truth. I mean, I know I get on here and joke around a lot, Italian and this and that. Let me tell you something about him. He is tortured with this decision. If he wasn't, Saturday he would have said goodbye to his team. And I just talked to somebody, he's at the facility right now. And he's playing poker. Somebody just texted me a second ago. We have no idea what he's going to do. Now they're supposed to have a practice today at like 1 o'clock Eastern time. And who the hell knows? Does he go out there and practice and we're just going to continue to do it? The Giants are not going to sit there and wait. They're just not. My sense of this is that today we're going to know something. This is my sense. And I don't know what we're going to hear. We're going to talk about it when we come back. We got a full bank of calls. Listen, I wrote what I wrote about Danny White, but I'm not going to turn Danny White into like a target. But they've created a right environment with the way this NIL and all the changing of the rules and clawing back some of the money from him, and now they can't get money promised to some of these guys, and that's what's going on. I mean, you can believe that or not, and Tony's not a Danny guy. Danny's a Danny guy. Tony's not a Danny guy. Danny's a Danny guy. Danny likes his people. He likes people he hired. You can believe that or not. That guy is a tremendous ego. Tremendous. And by the way, so does Tony Vitello. As I said in the blog yesterday, Tony Vitello, the way I would describe him to somebody is he's kind of nuts. He's kind of nuts. But it works for him. There's no way. The first day I was with him over there, and he said to me, "Can you see it in here? We're going to fill this place up." And I looked at him and I thought, "You are a damn..." I said it to him. I said, "Tony, no offense to you, but that's damn foolish." And he had a little high school baseball stadium back then compared to what they have now. Of course, 5 years later, it's still not finished, but that's another story. We'll talk about it after this.
Are you searching for a great local coffee? I'm Billy with Grade A Grounds. You can buy our freshly roasted coffee online and support a good cause with every sip. Great coffee, greater causes. Visit our website today, gradeagrounds.com.
You got to dream about buying some land and building on that land? Well, Waterside Contracting is your ticket. 25 years of making dreams come true, Michael Scott. For hundreds in our area, custom homes or remodels, Waterside Contracting will build on your lot. They do incredible work all over the area. Structural integrity, quality without compromise. It's a way of life with Waterside Contract. Check out the wonderful work Waterside does. WatersideContractingLLC.com. When it's time for your dreams to come true. Quality without compromising. Waterside Contracting. Preparing food for a big gathering can really take it out of you. That's why you need to call Calhoun's and check out their selection of party platters. Whether you're hosting a party for the big game, a reunion, or just an everyday gathering, a Calhoun's party platter is next level. Choose from Calhoun's always excellent chicken tenders, fly with Calhoun's wings, or boneless wings with a variety of dipping sauces, award-winning next-level melt-in-your-mouth barbecue ribs, or delicious spinach artichoke dip, or get one of each. Plus, if you're doing burgers or sandwiches, Calhoun's has lots of side dishes like spinach Maria, baked cinnamon apples, Smoky Mountain baked beans, or creamy coleslaw. Available in pints, quarts, and gallons. And to finish things off, pick up one of Calhoun's great desserts to go, including homemade cheesecake or key lime pie. Calhoun's, simply your go-to party headquarters. With 9 locations all over East Tennessee, you can order online and just pick it up. Calhoun's, one of the Copper Cellar family of restaurants, along with Chesapeake's, Copper Cellar, Corner 16, Cherokee Grill, and Smoky Mountain Brewery. Eat local, eat good. When it's time for your next move, you want to get your precious belongings from point A to point B with your peace of mind intact. That's why you need to call my friends at Gouffon Moving and Storage, East Tennessee's moving legend. Gouffon Moving and Storage has been helping East Tennesseans move since 1887. That's 138 years, 5 generations. That's even longer than the Dooley, Jones, and Pruitt era combined. Gouffon Moving and Storage are pro movers, serving Knoxville, surrounding areas, and interstate moves too, both residential and commercial. And we'll provide you with personalized service that other corporate movers simply cannot. We know how to move all types of items. We pay careful attention to our clients' valuables. Your satisfaction as a customer is our absolute priority. As the oldest continually owned and operated family moving business in the United States, when it's time for your next move, it's Gouffon Moving and Storage. And storage, it's secure and vaulted. Our newest offering of commercial storage logistics, we offer receiving, storage, and delivery services for all your business logistic needs. See more at Gouffon.com. That's Gouffon.com. Or check out the link at tclub.team. When it's time for your next move, East Tennessee's moving legend, Gouffon Moving and Storage. Life never stops moving. And between the 30-minute commutes, daycare pickups, weekly soccer practice, Tuesday night yoga, X number of coffee runs, and that weekend trip to grandma's, you're racking up the miles. What you need is a tire that can keep up. A tire designed for doers. A tire that's going to last. Like the exceptionally long-lasting Michelin Defender tire. With an 80,000-mile warranty and the safety and comfort you expect, you can forget all about the miles ahead and focus on getting to your destination or conquering your to-do list. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. That's Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire.
Inward Half is committed to the game and the memorable moments that happen in between. From the tee box to the tailgate, from the green to the big game. For the first birdie with Dad, the first big win with Mom. Friday night lights, Saturday superstitions, Sunday traditions. Fall into the comfort and unparalleled performance of Inward Half. This fall, enjoy the walk-in.
Are you tired of hiding your smile because of crooked teeth? At Knoxville Smiles, we've got the perfect solution. Invisalign. No metal, no wires, just clear, comfortable aligners that straighten your teeth without anyone noticing. Eat what you want, smile with confidence, and see results in as little as 6 months. Call us today for more information about Invisalign, 865-539-1776. Or just visit us online at knoxvillesmiles.com. Smile brighter with Knoxville Smiles.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. From Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham, they've stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. There are neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Fall has officially arrived, so now is the perfect time to make sure your home's heating and HVAC system is ready for the season ahead. Don't ignore the warning signs that your heating or cooling system is struggling or nearing the end of its lifespan. And if you need fast, reliable HVAC repairs, seasonal preventative maintenance, or want to invest in a new, high-efficiency system, then call the trusted HVAC experts at Pipe Wrench Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Whatever HVAC problems you encounter, our certified technicians will make a full assessment and then provide the best long-term solution to keep your home comfortable again all year long. We make it easy with free on-site estimates for replacements and free second opinions on repairs. And if budgets are tight, we offer flexible payment plans including 0% financing with credit approval. Be sure to ask about our 10-plus year warranties that are 2 times longer than industry standards so you don't spend a cent on unexpected costs in the future. So call Pipe Wrench at 865-264-8090 or book online at pipewrench.com to schedule your appointment today. And as always, same-day service guaranteed or the visit is free.
TB here with Alan of WeShipFloors.com. Tell them about it, Alan.
Hey, I'm Alan from WeShipFloors.com. Our competition's prices, well, they're going up. Ours are coming down. Our waterproof floor Supercore is the best, and right now it starts at $199 a square foot. Our warehouses are full of 4mm, 6mm, and 8mm. You strapped for cash? Well, we have our own in-house financing. Use our room visualizer and order some free samples today. Supercore from WeShipFloors.com. Best products at best price.
Like Alan said, head over to WeShipFloors.com. Use the room visualizer on the website. Drop in any of the 120 Supercore floors virtually into your room and order your free samples today. WeShipFloors.com. Tennesseans, they are us. The best product, the best price. WeShipFloors.com. Look, I'm pretty insane, okay? And I'm pretty nutty, and I'll do some nutty things on the air. One thing I will not do is speculate as to whether or not Tony Vitello is staying or going. Would one of you guys like to be courageous enough to have that pinned to you today and get people's hopes up? I think he's really, really seriously conflicted. I don't think he's made his mind up.
Well, see, that builds up the drama for your audience and for the whole town. While you were talking about it earlier, I had this vision of this favorite son of a state commits a crime of passion. He ends up on death row, and he's getting ready to be executed. And everybody in the town is praying and hoping that the governor will give him a pardon, a last-second pardon. There's just a sense of what should we call it? There's a little hope. There's some hope. And then there's that dark thought of his leaving.
Oh,
I'm trying to be more dramatic than you are, but I'm not pulling it off. I apologize.
Hey, Matt, I woke up a couple times last night, like kind of disturbed about it. I mean, I'm a grown man. I mean, I shouldn't care about that. It shouldn't bother me if he stays or goes, you know? What?
It bothers the hell out of me. You're not the only one that it.
All this.
That it, I mean, it just would be such a deflating. I mean, it would just suck. I mean, it'd just be awful.
All these people speculating that he's already gone bother me. When they really don't know what they're talking about. They just hear misinformation or hear speculation and they think it's fact.
Well, Brian,
so be careful.
I wrote a column last night about him leaving because I have to have it ready to publish in case he does.
Yeah,
you had to do that. I had to do that.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't. Hopefully there won't be some glitch in the system and it gets published anyway.
So it's a very interesting thing. Tony's highly conflicted. This is his baby. I think today he's either going to be the first. I think it's going to happen today. I just have a weird feeling. And I'm not saying that I know it's going to happen today. I'm not saying that. I think it's going to happen today. Because it's got to happen. It's these major league organizations. But that's why the reporting around this was 24 to 72 hours, because the Rosenthals of the world know that these major league organizations, there's 32 of those jobs. And when they say to you, we want you to be our next coach,
there's 30
of those jobs. I'm sorry. They're not going to sit there and wait a week for you. They're not. I don't care who you are. They're just not.
Tony, if Tony Vitello decides to return to Tennessee, I think it would be greeted by the people in the community and the fan base, kind of like when Peyton Manning announced he wasn't going pro at the end of his junior year. I think it would be similar.
It's I think that's right. I think if Tony Vitello stands up there and says he's going, I think there will be elation. I think there will be literally celebrations tonight into the wee small hours of the morning. I really do.
If he's not going.
Not going.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah, well.
Right.
So do you want to...
let's go to the phones. Because here's the thing. I'm texting with people close to it right now, and, you know, unraveling the knots if he does leave. If he leaves, ultimately, it'll be because he wanted to try this. But I'm with Matt. I think he could succeed at anything he does. I think he'll hate Major League Baseball. Like, if he called me and said, what would you do? I said, Tony, here's what I'd tell him. If that was my son, this is the way I'd counsel him. I'd say, if that opportunity is there for you now, if you continue to do what you're doing in college baseball, that opportunity is going to be there for you in 5 years, 10 years even, because you're now seen in a different light. If you turn this gig down today, Tony, you are seen as the only coach in the history of your sport that turned down an opportunity to manage a major league team. And there's something about the girl that you can't get. Other organizations will look at you and go, wow, what is it about that guy that he said no to our fraternity? Nobody in his fraternity has ever said no to our fraternity. I would tell Tony that. The other thing I would tell him is, think about 162 games. Think about all the travel. Think about the fact that at your level, you can influence your roster. You are the builder of your roster. You are your general manager. Think about when you go to San Francisco, how you're just a guy that fills out a lineup card and has to swallow his tongue when things are going on with these millionaire, billionaire athletes. Think about how little control that you're going to get from the major league organizations, from that organization. All that. He's going to lose all his autonomy. All the things that makes him Tony Vitello sort of go out the window.
Yeah. Here's another thing, though. I've never been around a coach like Tony Vitello. Okay, maybe he will change. Maybe he'll change the perception of what a manager is, because I don't care where Tony goes or what job he pursues. People are drawn to him. He's a charismatic personality, and I can't think of it. I can't think of many managers in Major League Baseball like that. We just think of a guy sitting in a dugout with his arms folded. They're just, okay, I've done my work. I filled out the lineup card. Go get them, guys. But Tony Vitello is so different. I think he would be a star in the major leagues as a manager. I really do. I think he would be, because of his personality. He's just bigger. In a way, he's bigger than what that position is, how we're used to perceiving that position.
I'll tell you what's really strange. Matt, I don't know if you've done this, but I've jumped on some San Francisco Giants boards to see what they're – because I thought that the Giants floated that out there as sort of a trial balloon, like the Shiano Sunday thing. We're going to float this thing out and see how the fans react. Because organizations will do that. And then I can always crawl it back. Claw it back if the thing blows up in my face. Have you done that at all, Matt? Have you looked out there to see what the Giant fan base is saying?
No, I have not.
Yeah, I have.
not.
I have.
I've not gotten that deep into it.
Do you guys want to guess what their reaction is, whether it's positive or negative? What do y'all think? It's a college coach. This has never happened.
I think it's mixed to a degree.
It's extremely positive. Those people are saying their fan base, if I could just put it, obviously nothing's monolithic in terms of the way fan base sees something, but the sentiment that I've gotten, and if go to like their Reddit thing and read it. The thing they say is, we're an organization that needs to try something different. The analytics thing didn't work. This guy is a stone cold winner. He would infuse us with some winning energy. We desperately need it, and we trust Buster Posey. And we're ready for something different.
Yeah, here's the thing, too, about
which is an interesting thing, guys.
With the Giants organization, though. I mean, they aren't the Seattle Mariners.
Oh, no.
They've won What they win
three World Series in 15
championships
years.
in
15 years. Last 15 years, yeah.
Well, didn't they do it in almost like a 6-year run?
Yes. Yes.
So they've had great success.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what kind of money they have. They don't have Dodger money.
Hey, Brian, mute yourself. That's making noise.
I don't think they have Dodger money.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, too. Remember that rivalry that was born in New York?
Yeah.
When it was the New York Giants and when it was the Brooklyn Dodgers.
Yeah.
I mean, they moved to the West Coast. That's
the same thing.
It's maybe I don't think it's perceived nationally as great as Yankees Red Sox, but out there it is. I mean, it's such a big deal, and it's gone on for so many years. They would be getting a bigger star personality-wise than what the Dodgers have.
I'd be really curious to see how Tony would comport himself if he got in that environment. It'd be really interesting to see how he would really. No, because you're right, because he's adaptive and very smart. I always say two of the brighter people I've met in terms of room readers were Vitello and Bruce Pearl. Bruce Pearl walk into a room, figure out who's got the keys, and talk right out of his keys. Vitello treats everybody that he comes in contact with respect. That's why he'd be such a huge loss here. And that's why people love him. He's done so many things for so many organizations. He's done so many things that I've asked him to do, and his one thing he always says to me is, just don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody. I don't need people to know this. And man, that's just kind of what's different. That's why it's going to blow a hole through me if he goes. Because I know our community is losing a really good dude.
Well, I think the community all knows that.
Yeah. We'll go to the phones. 865-200-5402. Just the perfect conditions have been created for him to really consider this.
Tony, I think you've done a great job in the first hour creating a mood. You really have done a great job of this. So it's almost time for a Titans Bill call.
Hello and welcome into our first call on the TLD Logistics phone line. We haven't screened them when you open them. You never know who's there. Hello and welcome in. As the show goes, generally how our first call goes, I hope this call is a breath of fresh air. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
How my friends compatriots doing today?
Hey, W. Lynn. Always a breath of fresh air, my man.
Well, Tony, this is a message to Tony Vitello, Dante Plowman, whoever, Randy Boyd, Danny Dollar. Look, if we lose Tony Vitello, that's like kicking the Beatles out of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I mean, he's the Beatles to college baseball. And I just want to tell them that I would go to the bank right now, get $1,000 cash, go to the home plate at Lindsey Nelson Stadium, and hand it to Tony Vitello if I knew the money was going to baseball. And I promise you, Tony, with your thousands and thousands of listeners, there's a lot of people in my boat. Some people might could give 100, some might give 2,000, but we could raise 5 to 10 million in NIL money. But what I don't like hearing is if somebody donates money and says, I want it to go to baseball, and it goes to something else. I thought we had solved that problem, but apparently we've not. And I just want to tell Tony V, I'll lead a charge to get NIL money over there in cash. And
the rules
he's
changed.
the most positive thing that's happened to this university in 30 years.
People have a misconception about this. What happened is the rules changed on July the 1st when the House ruling thing went into effect, and they all decided they were going to play by these rules. And so if you got to funnel cash to people now, you got to funnel it to them off the books, okay, going forward. There's the rev share money that you get from the schools, and then there's the rest of the money that you got to get to kids through the back door. And
Well, the NIL door.
well, yeah, but you got to show whatever the thing is for the clearinghouse. The thing is, and this is what's happened here, there, and everywhere, they promised these kids a ton of money in all these sports, but you had to get it to them by July the 1st. If you didn't get it to them by July 1st, then you got to figure out how you're going to get it to them. And this is going on in all these sports. And I believe that some in baseball have been caught in the middle of this. And I believe Tony's pretty pissed off about it because they clawed back some of the money that he thought was going to be his to put it in the women's basket. And I'm not trying to cause any friction here. I'm not. I'm just telling you what's going on. I give you the chess table as it lays out. You can do with it what you will. Listen, he had former players on Twitter last night putting stuff out and then taking tweets down. And I'm not going to name names. You can figure out who was what and who's where. And if I was making that up, why are they saying that? You tell me. You just tell me that. Why are they? I'm the only one that's going to say, you know why? I don't care. What are you going to do to me? I've been here 30 years. What are you going to do to me? You think I'm afraid of Danny White? I mean, are you temporary insane, man? Are you crazy? Continue, W. Lynn.
Well, I just want to tell him as the man that was waving the state flag over there when he was building. And one of the greatest things he ever did was he got thrown out of a game and couldn't be in the dugout, and he had a lemonade stand for a charity outside the stadium. And I'll never forget that. And I'll never forget how, like you say, he embraced everybody. I met him at a lunch that Craig Jenkins invited me to 6-7 years ago. Him and Elander were there. They were nice. They were talking to me like I'm just one of the guys.
Can Elander talk? I've never heard him talk.
Yeah, I sat next to him. He loves it here too.
Cool.
You know, and Tony was just so nice about everything. You know, I was telling him my vision for the new stadium, and he listened. You know, he didn't have to listen to me.
Sure, that was enthralling.
But
W. Lynn, maybe you're responsible for the stadium.
It's not going the way I really envisioned, but the students keep getting pushed away. And I promise you, Tony, if I'm over there on the porch, I will not be engaged in social tailgating this year. There was a little too much of that last year, and I was guilty of it too. We weren't into the game. You know, we were kind of celebrating the national title, and it's easy to get more tailgating instead of more cheering at times. And I want to bring that stadium back to rocking and rolling, like when the legends of Lindsey were there, and Lindsey Nelson, you know, the legions or whatever, the legends. But Tony, I'm wearing a national championship baseball shirt today. It upset me when I heard the news at like a 3:30. It took away my energy for the Alabama game. I think fans down there at the Alabama game, I think players might have heard about it. I wanted to see Tony V on the sideline of the Alabama game. It hurt. It hurt me. I was not fired up or focused or anything for kickoff.
I wonder if that could have affected the outcome.
Thank you, W. Lynn. Back to the phones we go if you want to get in. Your thoughts on just where we are right now. What's going to happen here? You tell me. Give me your sense of this. What is Tony Vitello going to do? I do think today could be the day.
So if he's trying to make a decision, Tony, you're a music guy.
Yeah.
What song should be playing as he's trying to make his decision?
Oh, The Clash. Should I stay or should I go? Do no 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 no. Should I stay or should I go now?
I think something more dramatic.
So you
would
gotta
be
let
for.
me know. He's gonna go to Dan White. Should I stay or should I blow? Back to the phones we go. Hello and welcome into our next call. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony, it's Steve Parker.
Hey, Park.
How you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm blessed, man. I'm blessed to be here today.
Yeah, I'm glad you are. I'm glad you're there for us. Because it's either going to be complete elation or need of therapy later on.
Yep.
But anyway, I wanted to sort of, first of all, say thank you to Tony for he helped resurrect my first love, sports love, which was baseball, because the major leagues had done everything they could to take it away. So back in 2021, he and his team helped renew that, and I'm forever grateful. But I want to say this to him, and I hope he's listening. And I'm just an old guy. I'm just an old guy who's spent his life working here and there and everywhere. And there's been two times in my professional life where I was happy at a place I was. And I was recruited away. And I struggled and I struggled and I struggled with, should I stay or should I go? And I struggled and I asked people and I asked, pastors and friends and Eric Bonner, your boy Eric Bonner, and ultimately both times I left. And both times it was a terrible mistake. It was a terrible mistake. And what I have learned from those two instances is if you're struggling so hard on whether or not you should stay or go, my personal opinion is you stay. Because if you feel, and if going is the right thing, it shouldn't be hard. It shouldn't be hard.
It was always hard for me, though. Like I said, I turned down 4 jobs before I took them, and I made the right move every time.
Right.
I think you have to go about it.
4 opportunities, right?
Yeah, but
you didn't just take the first one.
No, but my point is, I liked the job. I liked the job I had. I was happy, but I thought the next job would be better, and it was. Mm-hmm. It was hard. It was a hard decision to make. I kind of think you need to almost not be emotional about it. You just have to. Yeah. You have to know yourself, and you have to know what you want. Yeah. But you make a list of the pluses to taking the job, the pluses to not taking the job. Yeah. Why? So either way, but I really don't think. I don't think either decision, when it comes down to it, in the grand scheme of things, won't end up being crucial. Tony Vitello will do fine whether he stays here.
Absolutely.
And you said you took 2 jobs. You were recruited for 2 jobs and you left. And now you look back and say you wish you would have kept the first one. But were the next 2 jobs, were they bad jobs? How did they go? Was it bad for you?
Yeah, it was. They turned out to be toxic work environments.
Jeez, that's horrible.
Yeah.
Which Major League Baseball could be toxic for a guy like him.
Well, think about this too. If he goes, I wish him all the best. Of course, all the best.
Yes.
And I tell you one thing: that NoCal SoCal rivalry will get amped up.
Yep.
But here's what I want to see. I think we should take bets on the over/under of how many games before he gets thrown out of one.
Oh, there's no doubt. There's no doubt. I mean, because those guys at that level, those umpires, they don't put up with it.
I would say 15.
I'd say spring training.
No, I think he'll keep it together. I think he'll have an awareness of it, but I think it'll just explode.
Yeah.
And he'll be holding it back, and it'll build and build, and then he'll just explode, and it will be an epic. Who threw the greatest tantrums in baseball?
He'd be a Billy Martin type.
Billy
Weaver.
Martin, Dick Williams,
Louis Pinella.
Go out there and kick,
Earl Weaver.
Go out there and kick dirt on
Earl
people.
Weaver was the best.
Yeah.
Bump people, punch people.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Parker. Yeah, I just want to hear from the fan today. We're just going to go through this, and you tell me and what your sense is of this thing.
The one thing that keeps coming to mind is Billy Donovan took the Orlando Magic coaching job after winning the national championship. I think it was 2007. He'd won back-to-back college national championships.
Yep.
He took that job and then came back to do like a goodbye, farewell, whatever presser, and then changed his mind after signing a contract.
Yes.
Duke's coach Mike Krzyzewski had a chance to do the same thing with the Lakers once. I don't know after what season that was.
You're
but
right.
He was still 15 years or so away from retirement, maybe more.
Yes.
And he chose to stay at Duke.
And he almost took it.
I think that's the only thing you can really compare this to.
He took it. He took that job and then turned away. Donovan took a pro job and then turned away and came back and I think won a couple national championships after that. So we'll come back on the other side. Bobby Cremins took a job one time.
Glenn Mason was Kansas coach and went to Georgia.
On Christmas Day.
And then turned around and went back.
Yep, on Christmas Day. We'll come back on the other side. We'll get as many calls in as humanly possible. I really believe today's the day. Today's the day.
It's V-Day.
Yeah, I'm going to call the shot after this.
Whether it's baseball, football, softball, church groups, or schools, if you're raising money, do it with locally roasted grade A grounds coffee. I'm Billy Miller, a Vol alum and Knoxville native. You keep 40% of sales, and we donate 5% back to our East Tennessee community. Get started today by visiting our website at gradeagrounds.com.
Score a TD every time with T3 Vodka. T3 is Tennessee's premium vodka, handcrafted with passion, precision, and a whole lot of pride. T3 Vodka is taking the volunteer state by storm. T3 Vodka, handcrafted in the majesty of the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains, where quality isn't just a promise, it's a way of life. Filtered 10 times and 80 proof, T3 Vodka delivers a smoothness that's unmatched. This dedication to excellence has already earned T3 Vodka prestigious accolades. T3 is a 5-time gold medal winning vodka and the 2025 SIPS Consumer Choice Award medal winner. Whether you're sipping it neat or on the rocks or mixing up your favorite cocktail, T3 Vodka is your choice for a premium, award-winning experience. Score a T3 TD and ask for T3 Vodka by name at restaurants and wine and liquor stores today. Drink it neat, drink it right, drink T3 Vodka and score a touchdown every time. T3, Tennessee's premium vodka. Distributed by Athens Distributing Company. Please drink responsibly. Basilio here. No one does it like Alumni Hall. I'm here to tell you, living Vol fan, only one place that's the best place to shop for Tennessee gear, and that's Alumni Hall. The best and largest selection of Tennessee apparel for the whole family. Top brands like Nike and Champion, Columbia, Peter Millar. Load up on hats, accessories, Yeti, all your tailgating necessities. Download the Alumni Hall app, click account, and it'll tell you how much Hall cash you've earned. You earn $10 in rewards for every $150 you spend. Alumni Hall, with physical locations in Murfreesboro, Bristol, and 3 locations in Knoxville, now open in Johnson City. Pop into Alumni Hall and get ready and tell them Tony B sent you.
When it's time for a fresh coat of paint, run, don't walk to Walker's Painting. Interior and exterior, Walker's Painting's been making it beautiful since 1999 across the Knoxville area. New construction, repaints, commercial, residential, free estimates available. And get this, mention you heard Walker's Painting on the Basilio Show, 10% off your first job. Let's go! Run, don't walk to Walker's Painting. 865-688-1410. That's 865-688-1410. Walker's Painting, making it beautiful since 1999. Check out the ad at the blog at tclub.team. Walker's Painting.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Okay, so we really need uniforms and equipment for this season. Can I trust you with that? Cool, I'll just order them online. What? Yeah, I'm gonna hop online and I'm gonna get them ordered. Hold up, that's not a good idea. We shouldn't just spend money on some random online retailer, okay? I mean, it seems pretty convenient. Trust me, it's a terrible idea. Let me simplify this for you. SM Athletics. Okay, how do you pronounce it? SM Athletics? They're the go-to for uniforms and equipment, whether it's for universities, high schools, youth leagues, you name it. So why wouldn't you rather go with professionals who can guide us through the process, design the perfect uniforms, and deliver the best equipment? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. What's the name again? SM Athletics. Right. It's definitely smarter to go with a company that emphasizes customer service, fair pricing, and, of course, excellent products. Exactly. So, yeah, I guess it's settled then. For uniforms and equipment for all sports, it's SM Athletics.
Yeah, it's another day, but what kind of day is it really? A day of doom scrolling? Laundry day? Nah, it's a White Claw day. Light and refreshing tasting, uniquely cold wave filtered. There's an iconic flavor for everyone. So grab a pack, grab your friends. Make the most of each day with those who matter most. When you're together with White Claw, every day is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. You just gotta grab it. White Claw. Grab life by the claw. Please drink responsibly. Hard seltzer with flavors. White Claw Seltzer Works, Chicago, Illinois.
Got a problem tree looming over your home? Call ECR Total Landscapes. Whether it's trimming, removal, or storm cleanup, our certified pros get the job done safely and efficiently. We're licensed, insured, and ready 24/7 for emergency calls. Big or small, we cut them all. ECR Total Landscapes. Call now for a free estimate, 865-384-2012, and mention promo code FANRUN for free stump grinding on any tree removal now through the end of the year. Also, visit us at ecrtotallandscapes.com.
Basilio here for Budget Transmissions. TGMD, the great Matt Dixon, took his Ford Escape to budget, and like our Gold Bullet back in the day, it was a total mess. And now, Matt's back in the game. He's got a new transmission, axle, wheel bearing, both radiator hoses, engine mounts, coolant hoses. I mean, his Ford Escape was about to escape to the junkyard, but he didn't begrudge it. He took it to budget, and now he's on his way back to Omaha. Budget Transmissions, over 30 years in business, conveniently located in Bearden. All extended service contracts are honored. A gold certified Repair Pal member. 865-584-4391. 865-584-4391. Budget Transmissions. Don't begrudge it. Take it to budget.
Hey there, Basilio family. Jennifer Morris here with Keller Williams Realty. The countdown to fall football is on. Is your fall plan missing the perfect home to watch the Vols make another playoff run? If a new view is on your game day checklist, I'm ready to help you find it. Don't wait until kickoff. Give me a call today at 865-694-5904 or visit my website at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and go Vols.
Josh Collins at Collins Insurance Agency. At Collins Insurance, we strive to ensure our customers receive better coverage along with bigger savings. Our community is important to us. We want to provide exceptional service to our customers. Anybody can provide great rates, great coverage, but can you also get great service? And hey, don't just take my word for it.
What's up, everybody? Zakai Ziegler here. My family turns to Collins Insurance Agency for the best service, coverage, and price.
So don't just go online and get some random insurance. Experience the Collins Insurance difference.
Like he said, experience the Collins Insurance difference. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. And hey, their Mama ZZ approved. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. Thank you to Josh Collins and ZZ.
One more thing, Tony. Go Vols.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
So it's hour number 2 on your Tony Basilio show, and I believe today's the day we're going to find out something about Tony Vitello. Tony, did Tony Vitello tell you? No, he didn't. But I've done this long enough to trust my instincts. I think today, by nightfall, we're going to find out something. In 55 minutes, Tennessee is supposed to be practicing. I know for a fact that Tony is in the complex right now. I believe that today is going to be the day that we're going to find out what's going to happen with him. He's got to tell his players something. And he's got to let, and the truth is, he's got to let the Giants know too. And so I believe one way or another, he's got to decide what he's going to do. I believe he's tortured by this. I believe he's been tortured by this. I believe he feels like he feels like there's just no way.
What?
There's just he's got to feel like one way or another this has to be an extremely torturesome thing for him.
God, man, it's
not an easy decision.
You're doing this with so much strength and vigor. I'm bothered by it. Tony, you never stay away from the hard questions. Never. So I think what you should do and what we should do on the show is all of us should say what we think Tony's decision will be. Let's don't dodge the hard choice.
To the phones we go. I'm not getting in the middle of that.
Come on.
Hello and welcome in. Hi, you're on the air.
Tony.
Yo.
Hey, this is D-Lot. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, D. Welcome in.
First of all, I was in Tuscaloosa Saturday, and when I heard that, I just lost all my fire. I didn't even care about the game. I cared about the game, but it just kind of something was missing. I just want to let everybody know that on a personal note, I understand that Tony's brought a lot of wins here, and I wasn't a baseball fan up to like 5 years ago. I couldn't tell you who Tennessee played, how many games they played, where they played, or anything baseball. But now I don't miss a game. But on a personal note, I got a granddaughter that's 9, or she's 10 now, but about a year and a half ago, she was diagnosed with Ewing sarcoma, cancer in her leg, and she went through almost 8 months of chemo, lost her hair, had femur cut out of her leg. She's doing fine now. She's in remission. She's beat it. But I want to let everybody know that Tony Vitello, if it wasn't for him, I don't know how she would have ended up, because for somehow or another, he found out about her through Children's Hospital, whatever program. But anyway, he reached out to her, and on every holiday last year while she was going through all that, he would send her videos of talking about, telling her asking her how she's doing, and Happy Thanksgiving. He even come up there and brought some coaches with him when she rung the bell up at Children's there a few months ago. And a lot of people probably don't know that side of him. I know everybody's going to miss him because of all the wins, but this community is really going to miss him, because I'm sure she's not the only kid that he does that for. So a lot of coaches don't do that.
Well,
you and
I both know. You and I both know.
She loves him.
Oh man, that's the thing that really rips my heart out and really breaks my heart, is that if he leaves, man, he's helped so many people. It's one thing for him to be a great coach like you started out your call with, but he is really, really, really different in that regard. Because you and I both know, D, that he helps thousands of people and never says a word about it. Does not want the coverage. Does not want the coverage, man. Does not want the coverage.
Well, that's the first thing he told my daughter. He said, "Whatever you get from me, or y'all take many pictures you want, but I don't want it. I don't want recognized on social media for this." So I mean, he's just a special person, and I've watched her. She'd lay her in the bed, and no hair, lost a ton of weight, and just not smiling or anything. And then when he'd send her a video, she would light up. And she would just call me to come up there, come to the house and show us, look at this video, Papa. I mean, it's going to be a big loss for the community. Is all I'm saying. And if he's listening, I've told him to his face, I really appreciate what he's done for my family because he really fired her up. I really believe he helped with her recovery. I really believe that.
How is she doing now?
She's doing great. She's in remission. She's struggling walking a little bit because they had to put a metal rod in her leg. But I mean, she's doing great. She's one of the lucky ones, I think. I think she's beat it. She's real strong.
God bless you, Dave.
She's doing good.
Love you, man.
But I just want everybody, listeners know that there's the other side of him besides just wins.
And it's very
really
much a winning side,
Yeah.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, sure is.
Thank you.
All right, buddy. You guys have a good day. Hopefully he'll stay.
Thank you.
I tell you what.
Yeah.
I thought he was gone. Now I believe he's going to stay.
I just can't go on the record.
Well, I mean, what's going to happen? You're not going to get fired. You may be 50-50 chance you're right. I don't know you can't be sure what he'll do, but now that I'm listening to that call and think of all of that would be going through Vitello's mind. He's thinking about all these connections he's made. He's not just here coaching a team. He's a vibrant part of this area.
Yeah.
And not the whole state, really.
Well, he told me, which is an interesting thing. He said, because he has a place here, he has a place in Nashville. He's got a place in a couple different places. He's got enough money now to buy whatever he wants. But he told me he knew it was kind of a different deal when he was first in Nashville, nobody would recognize him. So he would just get down there and live his life, And then when you're here, you're Tennessee's baseball coach, and he does that very well, But he said, I knew we had, achieved something when people in Nashville are like, hey, all of a sudden, he said, people started recognizing me. He said, that was very strange, because you're in a bigger place. And
sure.
I'm Tennessee's baseball coach, and who the hell knows who Tennessee's baseball? You couldn't pick him out of a police lineup. Look, I think Tony's tortured in this decision. I don't think anybody knows. People will tell you, I think around him. I've heard people tell me in that inner circle that he's going. I've heard people in that inner circle say they think he's staying. I think this thing could go. I have no idea how it's going to go. Personally, I just have trouble seeing him leave here. And I think that's why he's so tortured by the decision. Matt, where are you? 70 minutes later, and then we go back to the phones.
I mean, I have no clue. I probably lean towards him leaving ever since the stuff happened Saturday.
Yeah.
But, the longer it goes on, the fact that he's been here in Knoxville and at practice and around the complex, I think only helps Tennessee's chances. But kind of like you said, I think it's one thing to tell the Giants he's coming or say, I'm going to take that job. But I think the harder thing for him would be to tell Tennessee that he's leaving and not necessarily the fans or whatever, but his family here, like the players
Those
and
kids.
all this support. Like I think that would be the hardest part for him to tell all them that he's leaving. And maybe it's wishful thinking, but at the end of the day, I think that might keep him here. And the fact that, because I'm sure he's thought this stuff through millions of times over the weekend. He's just such a great fit for college baseball and Tennessee and this fan base. He's just such a perfect fit here. And it's just hard to see him. I mean, he would find a way to be successful, but it's hard to see him like being happy as a manager where, you've got 65 losses built into your season, no matter how great you are and how great your team is. And that's hard for me to see him like being comfortable with on a yearly basis. That's a tough thing for somebody as competitive as he is to have to deal with.
Yeah, I could see the one way to look at it when you're trying to make this kind of decision and you're so torn is you tell yourself, I'm taking the other job. I've decided I'm going to call my future employer and tell him I'm taking the job. Make that choice, and then how do you feel about it? Once you say, okay, that's why I kept changing my mind on stuff. Because then when you really feel what it's like to leave, that can be very hurtful. And if this is dragging on this long, and he's so connected to people here, and if
you heard Dwayne Light's story right there.
Yeah,
that's who he is, man. I'm telling you, this place gave him a chance. Now, it's not the athletic director that gave him a chance, but this place has totally, full-throatedly embraced him. That is a big deal, John, to him. A big deal.
And how often does that happen with anybody, anywhere?
That's
it's
exactly
very,
right.
It's very rare.
How many people, John, have you ever seen here that are over with a fan base the way this guy is here? In your 47 years, and your 50 years of covering sports, how many coaches have you ever seen that mean as much to a community as this guy does?
Pat Summitt comes to mind.
Yes, and rightfully so.
But Pat Summitt was here. She was a native Tennessean. She was all about Tennessee, and she was here for decades, and she was the program. You could say Lady Vols basketball. It was Pat Summitt basketball, and you couldn't separate the two. And so, but Tony Vitello, what was different about him? And Bruce Pearl had a quality like this too. Bruce Pearl was here for 6 years, and think about it, how he infused Tennessee basketball with so much energy and enthusiasms. I'm trying to think. Before I came here, I've been a lot of places. I followed sports a long time, but for one school to have really those two people, and now Vitello in 3 different sports, where they are all so connected. But Vitello, the difference with Vitello, he did it like Pearl, he did it quickly, but Bruce Pearl couldn't take Tennessee to the very top. And Vitello did that. Think about how fast he did this. Worst program around, worst program in the SEC, and he's got to climb over all these other teams. I mean, it's not easy to do. It's so hard recruiting and signing and closing a deal in baseball when you got to parcel out 11.5 scholarships. And he did it so quickly. First year he had a winning season. Second year he goes to the NCAA tournament. Then he wins. He goes to the College World Series 3 times in 4 years. That's hard to do anywhere, and he did it in the hardest league to do it.
With 0 facilities. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, Tom, it's Rusty.
Hey, Rusty. Welcome in.
Thanks, brother. Hey, I want to talk a little bit about Josh Heupel and football. I know it's not the topic of the day, but I want to hit that a little bit. But just my quick Tony thing is, if he takes the Giants job, I'm going to pull for the dude. I think he's a heck of a great dude, and he's a Vol. No matter what, he's one of us, and wish him well. I can get behind him no matter what choice he makes on this and not be angry with him, because if winning the highest trophy in the sport that he loves is something he wants to pursue, I can't knock him for that. But if it goes the way of he's coaching against us in a couple years, that would be what I couldn't take.
That would be a completely different scenario.
Like Rick Pitino ended up at Louisville.
Bruce. I mean, LSU fans never got over Nick Saban going to Alabama, but he didn't go directly. Even so, they just couldn't handle it. I don't think fans had as much trouble though with Bruce Pearl at Auburn.
I kind of did at first.
Well, but
I was going to mention that really bothered me at first
when he was coaching Auburn.
Family.
But I think a lot of people, I mean, they still pull for Tennessee, but they wanted Bruce Pearl to do well. I think a lot of them were happy with his success. And also, I think one thing that factored into that.
Do those people think he was a good guy? Because that's what I don't understand. Anyway.
Well, but I'm just saying what factored into that with those fans was that Bruce Pearl didn't have a choice. He got fired.
Yeah, I get that.
So whereas Nick Saban, even though he left LSU for another job, albeit an NFL one, but then he went back to Alabama. So he wasn't fired. He left and he won a championship. But think about it in sports. It happens. Go back to guys like, with most of these guys, though, it's on a level of winning and losing, success or failure. And if somebody's leaving, if Nick Saban's leaving Alabama, that fan base is grieving because he's won 6 national titles. But there's more to it with Tony Vitello. Yeah. Because all the personal relationships and all the way the fans adore him, it's not just about the winning. They love Tony Vitello. They love his personality.
We love the dude that gave the speech about Cal Stark a couple of years ago, regardless of the outcome of the ball game. Yeah, we love Tony for who he is, not just what he does winning baseball games. I wish Tony would call Lane Kiffin and ask about regret. I wish he would call Rick Pitino and ask about regret, because those two guys regret, respectively, leaving Kentucky and leaving Tennessee for what they thought were their dream jobs.
Can you imagine, Rusty?
Now, Nick Saban, they shouldn't, because Nick wasn't happy in Baton Rouge. Nick has no regrets. He's glad he ended up at Alabama eventually, so you don't need to call Nick.
Well, if you think back to Rick Pitino, can you imagine what Kentucky would have done in basketball if Rick Pitino had never left?
Yeah, it would have been 10 times worse than what Kentucky did to college basketball through Tubby and Calipari even. Yeah,
I think he would have won. He might have been Mike Krzyzewski at Duke.
He might have been what Saban was at Bama throughout the late '90s and early 2000s. Yeah. Can I get into a little hypo thing?
Yeah, hit it.
So in 4 years and 6 games, I've never questioned a play call that Josh Heupel has made. Never. Tons of people have. Too conservative. Too running up the middle. I think Josh has been almost a perfect play caller. I think he had a really bad play call the other day. First time I've ever questioned it. But I'm not even mad about that, because no coach is going to call every play perfect. What I am really bothered about from Saturday was him insulting all of our intelligence in what he answered and how he answered a question in post game. I get he's vanilla as all heck in press conferences. It's who he is, and I have no problem with that. Not getting answers directly is great. That's fine. Do all you want to. You don't have to let everybody behind the curtains. But he was asked directly on the play in question, when did you decide to run that play that ended up a pick six? And he was and when he was asked that, his answer was after Bama called the timeout. That's just a bold-faced lie. They came out before the timeout in the same formation. And we know he wasn't going to run the ball before the timeout because you can't. You can't do it. And his lie was, we decided to run that play action pass after they called a timeout. That's just not true. And that's trying to tell us that's him trying to hide the fact that, yeah, Bama called a timeout and we weren't wise enough to alter our plan and do it and run another play.
But Rusty,
to change the play we had called.
Do you think he just overthought it though? Okay, they're calling timeout. They're expecting us to run the ball, so we're going to fool them.
No. He underthought it. He knew he couldn't run the ball, and he has to know the board is calling the timeout to say, don't even worry about the run because they're not going to. They're planning on getting 3 points worst case scenario. But that's not even what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the fact that he didn't make an adjustment to what he was going to do during the timeout, but then he lied about it to us and said, "Oh, we decided to run that play after." Well, if that's the case, you wouldn't have been in the exact same formation you were before, knowing a run play is not an option. It's dishonest, and it's telling us all we're stupid, and you're not gonna understand what I did.
Well, that's kind of coach-like.
It's the name I don't really use very much, and that's the first time I've been bothered by him. And I love the dude. I think he's still gonna win a ton of football games here and be great for us. I'm not negative or anything like that, but I found that really, really insulting. Like a former coach used to always insult our intelligence when he would say stuff to the media.
You know, and I appreciate the call. We all sort of have our bad moments, though, right? It's like,
have you ever had a bad moment on this show, Tony?
Come on, man. Probably 10 in the last hour.
I can only think of 6.
865-200-5402. We'll get some more calls in. I want to hear from you. This Tony Vitello thing, I think today's the day. We talk it out, what's going to happen, and God love Josh Heupel. We continue with more after this.
Guests appear on the TLD Logistics Hotline. Online at tldlogistics.com.
Are you currently a residential electrician? Would you like more benefits, better pay, more upside? What about a $3,000 signing bonus? Free company-paid health insurance, annual profit share, company vehicle, gas card, much more. Call Advent Electric today. Advent, known for their large commercial jobs around town, and due to high demand, they're adding additional roles for their residential department. Maybe you know a friend, family member that's a residential electrician. Spread the word. Email hr@adventelectric.com. hr@adventelectric.com. 865-588-0631 and ask for the Tony B 3K signing bonus. Advent Electric is hiring. You got to dream about buying some land and building on that land. Well, Waterside Contracting is your ticket. 25 years of making dreams come true, Michael Scott. For hundreds in our area, custom homes or remodels, Waterside Contracting will build on your lot. They do incredible work all over the area. Structural integrity, quality without compromise. It's a way of life with Waterside Contract. Check out the wonderful work Waterside does. WatersideContractingLLC.com. When it's time for your dreams to come true. Quality without compromising. Waterside Contracting.
College football fans, Chris Fowler here with the play call. This season, go for Dose with ice-cold, refreshing Dos Equis. It's more than a single play. It's a mindset. Think of it as a 2-point conversion for real life. Taking the risk, making the bold move. Whenever we get the chance to go big, we take it. On the field and off, always go for Dose with Dos Equis.
Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Copyright 2024 Dos Equis Lager Especial Beer. Imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
Whether it's baseball, football, softball, church groups, or schools, if you're raising money, do it with locally roasted Grade A Grounds coffee. I'm Billy Miller, a Vol alum and Knoxville native. You keep 40% of sales, and we donate 5% back to our East Tennessee community. Get started today by visiting our website at gradeagrounds.com.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Hey there, Basilio family. Jennifer Morse here with Keller Williams Realty. The countdown to fall football is on. Is your fall plan missing the perfect home to watch the Vols make another playoff run? If a new view is on your game day checklist, I'm ready to help you find it. Don't wait until kickoff. Give me a call today at 865-694-5904 or visit my website at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and go Vols.
Tony Basilio, and we are live once again with Chad Stockton of FC Alliance. And Chad, you're out there on the field, 100 strong here in Knoxville. Talk to me. What's been going on with FC Alliance now that the weather's heating up?
We're out here for the first night of the boys' tryouts. We have over 400 kids that'll be here tonight. So a lot of exciting times right now for us. Our club team started at U9 and we go all the way through U19. We have over 1,000 kids that come from Chattanooga from the Tri-Cities that make all our teams and make this club what it is today. So we're excited about it. We finished the younger kids a couple of weeks ago. We just finished the girls last night, and now we're on to our older boys program as we speak right now.
And we're blowing and going in the Tri-Cities. Tell me about it.
We started FC Alliance North 1 year ago, and coming off the first year, we're the largest, most competitive club up in the Tri-Cities area. We just finished our tryouts last night. Looks like right now we will be well over 400 kids for the upcoming season. So great things happening up there. We've put our boys into some really good regional leagues. So we're excited about what the future holds for them and also our girls programs.
If you want more information, check them out at fcallianceknox.org. That's fcallianceknox.org. Chad Stockton, keep growing the beautiful game here in East Tennessee.
Absolutely. Thanks, Tony.
Tony Basilio along with the great Mark Griffin. And we're here to talk about our friends at Performance Medicine. And Griff, their slogan, stay educated, stay healthy. That's you.
Wow. I really like to think that, Tony, and I'd like to give Dr. Rogers a lot of credit because I definitely want to stay educated and healthy, and knowing that he's putting the time and effort in to make sure of my care, I want to encourage your listeners to put the time to learn and become educated and get to know Dr. Rogers and see if it can help with your health as well.
And there's a really, really easy way to do that. In fact, they've got their own YouTube channel. You can see Dr. Rogers for himself with his staff. It's called The Performance Medicine Show over at the Performance Medicine channel over on YouTube. Also, more information at performancemedicine.net. To our friends in North Knoxville, a brand new location over in Fountain City, now accepting patients. So many ways to reach Dr. Rogers. And like they say, stay educated, stay healthy. Performance Medicine, online, performancemedicine.net.
Located in Knoxville's historic Old City, Barley's offers great food, live music, the best draft beer selection in town, and now your new favorite place to watch sports. Their indoor projector is perfect for any weather, and they've revamped their upstairs area with more TVs to take in all of the action. Their menu features hand-battered chicken tenders, juicy burgers, fresh salads, and the tastiest pizza in Knoxville. You can enjoy their happy hour drink specials daily from open until 6 p.m. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
When it's past high noon, it's time for a vodka soda made with a vodka you've actually heard of. I'm talking White Claw vodka soda made with White Claw premium vodka. JB Smooth only drinks vodka soda made with the world's smoothest vodka.
And you can too. Pick you up a bottle of the Triple Wave filtered vodka that's been distilled 5 times. White Claw premium vodka comes in 4 flavors: black cherry, mango, pineapple, and just vodka. You haven't had vodka like this. No one has. White Claw Premium Vodka. Please drink responsibly.
My sense of the Tony Vitello thing is that it's coming down today. I believe that we're going to know one way or another whether the Tony Vitello era is over or whether his reign is going to continue through the Southeastern Conference. Matt Dixon, we jumped on Saturday, is our wont here when things break out. You know, Matt said Saturday, and I can't get this thought out of my mind. And I don't want to blow Matt's head up because I listened to him. He's a smart guy. He said, here's how this thing's going to play out. Tony leaves here, if he leaves. And at that point, Matt, it almost felt like a fait accompli he was going to leave, didn't it, on Saturday? I just thought he was gone Saturday.
Yeah, it felt very likely, yes.
And we were both kind of emotional about it. And, I mean, look, I lose objectivity when it comes to Tony. I'm sorry. He's a paisan. He's fun. Anyway. He's a good dude. Matt said what's going to happen is he's going to go Major League Baseball. He's going to be totally miserable, which I think is right. I don't think he's a Major League Baseball guy. He's perfect for the college game. And then John said to me today, when we were outside, he said, if he leaves here, he won't come back here. That's it. He might come back here and live here one day, but he won't come back to coach because it's just not how it works. And Matt said, and he'll end up at Arkansas. Arkansas will see the opportunity and get in touch with him when they watch how miserable he is in Major League Baseball. And they'll move that Van Horn guy out of there. He'll take the Arkansas job, and he'll go win their first national championship down there. That almost seems too plausible to believe.
How long has Van Horn been there? What is his age? I mean, would he
He's been over 20. He's been there for 20 years.
He's like 60 plus years.
Yeah, he's in the early 60s, mid-60s.
He's just a kid then.
Don't make me feel like a man. Let's go back to the phones. TLD Logistics phone lines are ringing off the hook today. We've heard from all kinds of folks today. I can tell you that Tony's in Knoxville. I can tell you they are practicing. And Brian Hartman, there's a fan movement. Share it with us.
Yeah, they're encouraging Tennessee fans to pack the porches, a social media movement this afternoon for the 2:45 baseball scrimmage. You can't go into the regular part of the stadium due to construction, but they want as many people on the porches as possible. So that's something to write on your list.
John, do you like that we still have a construction zone over there like 3 years later?
Well,
I mean,
that's another story altogether. I know how construction can go because well, okay, if the people are going over there, I can imagine how many people can those porches hold? Could that be dangerous?
Back to the phones we go. I don't know. There's triple-decker porches there. Are they going to open them? I don't know.
W. Lynn will go there, and he needs to go there with his flag
in full throat.
I've seen W. Lynn wave that flag.
W. Lynn, let me tell you something, W. Lynn. If you went over there, you'd breathe life into those festivities. Let's go to the phones.
Would Earl and Judy go over there?
Are you kidding me? I bet they're there right now. Get as many people in here as humanly possible. I just I'm
thinking of a prayer vigil.
That's what it feels like. Matt, this feels like a vigil, doesn't it, Matt? It's a weird feeling today in town. It's weird. We can't lose
this Coach Krzyzewski. This is Coach Krzyzewskiville when he was deciding to take the Laker job.
We can't lose this guy,
and they had tents camped out by Cameron in the summertime.
We can't lose this guy, man. Hello and welcome in. You're on.
Johnny Madison in Texas.
Hey, Madison, welcome in.
Hey, guys. First, just want to say on Tony, I'm a guy who I never would have watched Tennessee baseball in a million years if it wasn't for this guy. Never watched it before, never cared about it, just wasn't in my, frame of reference or attention.
Yep.
And he changed that for me. Now, I won't say I watch every game, but certainly come playoff time, I'm watching. And when we go to the College World Series and we have the regionals, super regionals, it's just super fun. I hope he stays, but you know what? He's a talented guy. Who's to say that he won't go have success there? So I'll be rooting for him either way, but gosh, it'd be a big loss for us. He's just done such a great job.
All right, and what was your second point you wanted to make, Madison?
So, Tony, I think it was maybe Rusty that called earlier, and I got a couple things for you guys here on the football front. So first, Heupel in the post-game press conference, and I love Heupel. I hope he stays here for a long time. I think he's got to get some things fixed and maybe get some new people around him. So I'll just start by saying that this isn't a negative Heupel thing, but when good things happen, you got to praise him. When bad things happen, you got to call him out. He was very critical of Joey for the pass at the end of the half. And guys, I haven't heard anybody talk about this, but when you look at the replay, there's a tight angle, and I actually emailed this to you, Tony, if you want to take a look. That pass was tipped, and it was left inside because it was tipped by an Alabama player because everybody knew we were going to pass, and nobody fell for the play action fake. So to see Josh just throw Joey under the bus when it was his play call and he didn't take any responsibility, I mean, guys, that's just really bad. So I hope he improves. I wish he had said something on Monday to take kind of back what he said about Joey. And you even heard him. He said, "Oh, guys, well, this isn't me putting it on Joey." Oh, why'd you say that then, Josh? Because clearly you were putting it on Joey, and you just can't do that. You're going to need Joey the rest of the season. That just really burned me up.
Madison,
what are y'all's thoughts on that?
Excuse me, Madison. What are you saying he said exactly about Joey?
He said they asked him about the play call, right? And he said, well, we made the decision. You can either get two opportunities or one. We decided to go with the play action pass. Quarterback leaves the ball inside, and that's the result.
Hey,
okay.
Hey, Matt, do you have a problem? This is two callers in a row now that have a problem with it. Matt Dixon, do you?
Not really, because I don't really think Heupel ever says any things in media settings that are very thoughtful. He just doesn't put much thought into how he approaches the media. And now that you could maybe that's a bigger criticism that you can have, but I don't really put much thought into what he says.
In other words, it's not even a devious or a blame deflecting thing. Going before the media is such a rudimentary exercise to him that he doesn't even think about what's coming out of his mouth. That is sort of how I take Heupel's.
Yeah, but
go ahead.
Well, but that's how you usually take what he says.
Yeah.
But he never says anything specific.
Right.
So now he's saying, throw the ball inside. And so now he's being specific about a play. And so that, I think, is why it bothers.
These guys are keying on this? That's
yes,
interesting.
that's why it bothers fans more, because he never says anything.
That's an interesting thought.
And he's saying something very pointed
to take heat off himself.
Don't look at me.
Don't question my play call.
That's
interesting.
That's like Bobby Petrino the other day in Arkansas talking about a play, and he goes, well, yeah, we drew up a good play. Guy was open, just didn't make the throw. I mean, that's Bobby Petrino in a nutshell.
In other words,
I'm as smart as ever, guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
Madison, I kind of see what you're saying.
I mean, what bothered me, guys, is it was clearly a horrible play call. And if that rests on Heupel's shoulders, it rests on his shoulders. I would have liked to have heard him say something like, hey, guys, if we could have that one back, we would. But first of all, Coach, you haven't seen the tape. This is the important thing. The ball was tipped. It was tipped, actually looked like two times, because there are two different Bama defenders in the passing lane. Now, I mean, I don't think Joey's without blame. He probably should have thrown that 10 rows up in the stands. It wasn't open. They were sitting on it. But it was a horrible play call. Heupel didn't put his guy in the right position. And I just, guys, I have a real problem with what he said there. So I'm not going to, hold a grudge over it, but that's, anyways. Hey, I appreciate you guys taking my call on the post-game show. I think we're all in kind of a bad state. You're going for Dos and Trace and Quattro and
hell yeah, man. You need Dos, Trace, Quattro, Cinco, Seis, Siete, Nueve to get through that night. Goodness gracious, man.
You did.
That was a painful game.
I was critical of both of the coordinators, and so I want to make it more, because I've really dug into this, guys. So on the offensive side, there is in the modern game, there are not many guys calling plays that are having success. I mean, this is an objective data point.
You mean head coaches?
These head coaches,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
These offensive head coaches that are also calling their own plays. So I'll give you a couple examples.
Okay.
Nobody's won the Natty doing that since 2013. Jimbo Fisher, of course, he's unemployed now. You have Ryan Day, which I think if Ryan Day can win a championship, I think Heupel can too, but he's going to need a similar set of support around him. Day was calling plays until last year.
Yep.
He passed that on to Chip Kelly. What do? They go win the national championship.
Yep.
Even Eli Drinkowitz over at Missouri, they're winning 5-6 games a year. He gives up play calling duties. Now they're a 10-11 win team over the last few years. So I think it's time. It's not 1996 anymore. Heupel's not Spurrier, and it's time for him to give up calling plays. And look, I'm not trying to rip on this Halsey guy. I'm sure he's a nice guy. He's probably going to get a job at Carson Newman and make a nice living. But if he's not able to call plays, you got to find someone that you can trust to call plays. If Jeff Lebby was ever available, that'd be great. You got to find one of these guys like a Chip Kelly. And I don't care if you have to pay him all this money because you got all this Adidas money now. You got to find someone that you can trust to call the plays. And on the defensive side, I'll be quick on this. You need to find someone in the modern game that can coach his own defense. I don't know if that's Gerard Mayo. I don't know if that's the Pry guy who just got fired as head coach at Virginia Tech to come in to be the DC. If it was Brent Venables, if he was ever available, you paid the guy $8 million and he's worth every cent. But in the modern game, Tony, man-to-man is explosive play city. The quarterbacks are too good at placing the ball. The defenders or the receivers are getting away with too much in terms of hand fighting and pushing off. And if Tim Banks can't coach his own defense, you'll never have a great defense unless you have kind of all this NFL talent from last year that we had. So you got to find somebody on both sides to upgrade. Hopefully with the Adidas money, we're not at UCF anymore. Let's go get some real coaches.
Thank you,
I'll
Madison.
jump off here. Thanks, Tony.
Thank you.
But I think what Josh Heupel does best is call plays. I think that's what he does best. So can he hire a better play caller than what he is? I'm not sure he can.
But how can you call plays and manage a football game at the same time in this era, as fast as that game is now? It's totally different.
The easier thing to do would be to have somebody on staff to help you do the game management stuff.
Yeah,
and he needs
which is
that,
what Lane Kiffin.
We kind of talked about this before. About how difficult it is to do all that. Sarkisian at Texas is the same way. He calls his own plays, and you see they're kind of struggling right now.
Yeah.
Obviously, it is a valid thing to question. But like John said, Heupel's best strength is as an offensive play caller. So you don't really want to take that away from him. The easier thing to do would be to hire somebody or have somebody on staff whose sole job is to help him in game with those decisions. To where he doesn't have to balance both of those at the same time, because that's really, I think it's impossible to do when you play at the tempo Tennessee wants to offensively.
Right. How can anybody control all that? And you're going to look like they look, which is kind of sloppy and helter-skelter. And, it was fun when you were running past people before these defenses adjusted to you and you just played long ball and you had to lay down linemen 3 or 4 times a game. It's a totally different deal right now, 5 years into this thing, and they're going to have to adjust and tighten things up. Let's get our next call in. And on Tim Banks, I call his zone defense, Madison, the Twilight Zone defense. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air. It's awful. It's just impossible to watch their zone defense. They pass guys off to one another, and there's nobody there. It's like, what are we doing? Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
What's going on, Tony? It's great. How are you?
Hey, great, Talia. Welcome in, brother.
It's really bizarre that one of our top 3 sports coaches has one foot out the door and people are still calling about football. I have a bunch of stuff here I'm going to go through as fast as I can. Number one, I do not think he's leaving. Time kills all deals. First of all, my background, I play drums, but I'm also a headhunter and have been one for 15 years. So there's really 6 things that make somebody make a change, and then 3 of those are more weighted than the other 3. So the 6 things are challenge, location, advancement, money, people, and stability. It actually forms a word, clamps. Out of those 6, there are 3 that are more heavily weighted, and that is challenge, advancement, and money. Now there's one other thing, and that is a big one, and it's pain with your current boss. And I think this is an ego thing between Vitello and Danny White, and I ultimately think that Vitello is going to stay but he has definitely made his power known to the athletic department, to the chancellor, to all the powers that be. They're going to know, and Danny White's going to know that, okay, I cannot push this guy because he can only go so far. However, there's another concern that we could have, which is at some point this is going to happen again, even if he stays. At some point, this is going to happen again, because once it happens once, it's going to keep happening, which is Vitello is going to get upset with something. He's going to start looking elsewhere. And eventually, I think this is going to lead to him going to another college. But I don't think he's going to take this job.
That is a really good analysis. I wonder, though, that's a valid
analysis.
point. But I really think one of the things you mentioned was challenge. And if you go back to Tony Vitello taking this job, I know it was a first head coaching job. Yeah, so that's a challenge. But think about what a huge challenge Tennessee baseball was.
Oh.
And Tony Vitello, you had an apathetic fan base, a losing program, in a league full of winning programs. And Tony Vitello, Tony Basilio said
I snickered at him.
Yeah, Tony Vitello, we're going to fill this place up. The challenge factor, I think that's very important, what you mentioned, that's a big factor in this. Well, imagine the challenge that the Giants present. The first guy with no pro experience becoming a Major League Baseball.
That's a major concern of mine.
Major League Baseball manager.
Yeah.
And here's a guy who's had challenges in the past and always met them.
People saying you can't do something
you
to
can't
him
do it.
is fuel to him.
No,
man.
I can.
Yeah.
They're saying, and also they're saying, this hasn't been done before. And Tony's saying, well, you hadn't met me before.
Yeah, it fuels him.
Yeah. So I think it's good you brought that up.
Valid. Those are valid responses. Looking at the Major League game versus the college game, there's a reason this hasn't been done before.
Yep.
My take on Vitello is that he's unparalleled in the roster construction, the hype that he has put around the program, and he did win a championship. And some people are going to disagree with me, but I've watched a lot of baseball. I'm not super crazy about his game management. I'm not super crazy about his management, from inning to inning with pitching changes and things like that.
I'm not either.
I think he's just average.
Yep.
Yeah, I think he's just average with that, and that does not translate well to the majors, because that stuff is going to get scrutinized, Tony, as you mentioned, for 162 games.
Yep.
Everything's going to get picked apart. And really the culture and the hype part, I think it was Matt that said yesterday, you're going to have very little impact on roster construction, especially when you're coming in new. And also in the majors, I mean, everybody's really good. Even the crappy teams are just loaded with studs. But I'll go back to, and John, you mentioned something earlier about, this was really good because most people don't do this. You said, when I was about to change jobs, I put myself in the future of what it would feel like to leave the job and go to the new job and resign from my current employer. And you went into all that, and most people don't do that. And that's what we as headhunters try to help people to think about moving forward. But we always think that we're going to make these decisions based on logic, and we don't. And I want you guys to think about big purchases that you've made, just because this is a buying atmosphere that we're going with right here. So when you buy something, ultimately you go with your gut. Now, you'll back it up with the logic. You'll do the pros and cons list. But at the end of the day, if you have 81 cons and 80 pros, but your gut tells you that you want that thing, you're going to do it. I think most people go with their gut. But I'll circle back to a point I just made, which is, again, I think time kills all deals. And the longer this drags out, I think it's very likely that he's going to stay.
God, Gray, you fired me up, focused me, and prepared me for the rest of this program. And, man, I hope you're right. And let me just say this about Gray. I had no idea that you had these chops and what you're doing. I know you got chops when you're on the drum kit, but, brother, you showed it. You showed some serious range today, and I appreciate the call, man. Thank you. And I hope you're right. I hope Gray's right.
Even if he stays, I know there's going to be probably other major league opportunities that come open, but you don't want this to become a yearly occurrence where we're sitting here worried for a few days whether we're going to keep our baseball coach. that's successful.
Brian, I don't think that'll I think Major League Baseball will take this personal. It's the Giants involved. And so we were saying, I forgot who was saying earlier, and it's a logical point about, well, they might say, well, I'm the one that can get him. I think they're more apt to go the other way in Major League Baseball. They said, this guy rejected all of us when he rejected the Giants. He rejected the show.
As we continue,
That's true.
We're going to continue with more after this. TB here for Cedar Bluff Plumbing, a live and local company that's been serving our area for over 32 years and counting, because every customer counts, and I mean, no job is too small. Cedar Bluff Plumbing just voted #1 by City View magazine because multiple plumbing experts are on call to serve all your plumbing needs. Chances are there'll be a plumber in your area when you call, and they won't send some salesman to your house. You're going to get a high-character, trustworthy, highly trained plumber who will serve you, not like some of these guys that look like they came off the set of America's Most Wanted. Cedar Bluff Plumbing is Basilio tested and approved and will go the extra mile for you because Chucky Mack is a servant of the people and my consigliere to the throne, celebrating over 32 years of serving living volunteers. Cedar Bluff Plumbing. Call 588-4448. That's 588-4448. Cedar Bluff Plumbing.
This October, Pipe Wrench is serving up scary good savings with no tricks and just treats for your home comfort. This month only, you can get a free furnace upgrade with qualifying HVAC system installation, a free sediment filter with water heater installation, or protect your home's comfort with HVAC tune-up and plumbing system check bundle for just $129. Forget the tricks of surprise breakdowns, costly repairs, and high utility bills, as our limited time offers are designed to keep you cozy, comfortable, and confident all season long. Pipe Wrench is always your partner for energy-efficient and cost-effective upgrades that keep your family comfortable and safe year-round. We make it easy with free on-site estimates for replacements and free second opinions on repairs. And if budgets are tight, we offer flexible payment plans including 0% financing with credit approval. You better hurry, because just like Halloween candy, these offers disappear after October 31st. Call Pipe Wrench at 865-264-8090 or book online at pipewrench.com to schedule your appointment today. And as always, same-day service guaranteed or the visit is free.
College football fans, Chris Fowler here with the play call. This season, go for Dose with ice-cold, refreshing Dos Equis. It's more than a single play. It's a mindset. Think of it as a two-point conversion for real life. Taking the risk, making the bold move. Whenever we get the chance to go big, we take it. On the field and off, always go for Dose with Dos Equis.
Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Copyright 2024 Dos Equis Lager Especial Beer. Imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
Basilio here, and you know my friends at Carnes Motor Company started with a dream over a quarter century ago. I met Rob and Brian back when I still had hair, and they were working at a huge dealership in West Knoxville. But they told me back then they wanted to sell cars on their terms, and I wanted to do radio on my terms. Their terms, just like my terms, are ultimately your terms. In both cases, you're the winner. A Car Guru's National Award winner with a 5-star rating on all sites, just like our Vols. Everything about buying a car from Carnes Motor Company is no hassle. They specialize in high-quality pre-owned vehicles between the $5,000 to $25,000 range. And if you need to sell a car, they'll either buy your car or they'll help you sell it. Carnes Motor Company also has a top-notch service department. Therefore, every vehicle is rigorously inspected and serviced prior to delivery. So you're guaranteed to get a quality pre-owned vehicle every time. If you need a place for service, they've got you covered. Come be a part of the Carnes Motor Company family and tell them you heard about it from me. Online at carnesmotor.com. Oak Ridge Highway, 1 mile past the Carnes light. Carnes Motor Company.
TB back with you. It is absolutely an incredible day. I want to remind you, we're live at Calhoun's on the River on Friday, on the eve of the Kentucky game. John, make a prediction. By that point, will we know what Tony Vitello's fate is by Friday? Or are we going to do a thing where we're waiting for the smoke?
No,
the smokestack over there at UT, the one that distracted Derek Dooley when he had the job, and he made a friend of mine put a riser up to block the smokestack
Awesome move. That'll beat Bama. I would no. We'll know at the end of the day, and I think we'll know he's staying. I think people.
What? You keep saying that.
Yeah, I think he's going to stay.
Gray said he's staying.
Well, because it's gone on so long. He's right. Time is a deal killer.
Yeah.
And he's here. As Matt or Brian said, he's here.
Yep.
And he's not out in San Francisco. He's here in Knoxville. And all these people, you just don't get how many people in their lives would have this kind of response to, oh my God, don't leave.
Oh, if I said to people, hey, I was thinking of hanging it up, I'd have people outside my house chanting at me, hang it up. Hang it up.
And then
please go off the air.
And then
you are a cancer. You are a cancer. You know what I mean?
No, and then a week later they would say, who was that Basilio guy?
Basilio. Basilio.
Yeah, he was just, who was
I
that?
love you. I appreciate you. The Playbook, William Pattison up next on Fan Run. We'll continue to talk about it here on our TLD Logistics Overdrive Overtime in our little corner.
You're listening to FM 105.7
I belong in the corner.
and AM 1340, WKG in Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville. Fan Run Radio.
I belong in the corner.
Tweet about Dickie.
I belong in the corner.
It's TLD Logistics Overdrive Overtime, presented by TLD Logistics. Online at tldlogistics.com.
Chris Gray, you lighten my mood, man.
He was throwing heat.
And now let's go to the guys with today's edition of TLD Logistics Overdrive Overtime.
He is one of the Kentucky headhunters, though.
Well, and I thought Madison, you've had some strong calls today.
Oh, yeah.
And let's not forget about W. Lynn, who I think kind of is leading this fan charge.
Well, he's breathed life into it.
Yes, because people visualize. Imagery is really important, and people see him waving that flag.
And the wind at his back. W. Wind. Lynn. Back to the phones we go. On a TLD Logistics Overdrive Overtime. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, Tona. Bobby.
Hey, welcome in, brother.
You can't leave us on a day this beautiful, can he? You don't get beautiful days like this in San Francisco, buddy. These don't exist out there. It's a wonderful town, but it ain't like this.
It's still foggy out there today.
The cold, Mark Twain, right? You ever heard this one? The coldest winter I ever spent was a summer in San Francisco. You ever heard that one?
It's windy out there, too.
Oh, it's very windy. And, well, I won't go into the social
W-wind times
factors
10.
that are going on out there now. I would hate to live in San Francisco. And I used to love going to California. I haven't been in a long time, but that's another story. I think if Tony, and I think he's going to stay now. I've changed my mind. I think he's going to stay.
Oh,
and I think people are going to remember where they was when Tony Vitello said he was staying in Knoxville.
Is it going to be a Peyton Manning moment?
Yeah, I think it will be exactly that. Maybe even more so. Because as much as Tennessee fans love Peyton, I think they have a stronger personal connection with Tony Vitello.
Yeah.
And I think that's why this is so important. This isn't.
And you're not blustering either. I think you're actually being truthful here. Like, this isn't pitching it.
No.
I think you're being sincere.
I am. I'm thinking there's a strong personal. We talked before about how Tony says his family is Tennessee baseball in the Knoxville community. He views those people as his family. And and the people here view him the same way. This is like a family member saying, I'm leaving. I'm gone.
Well,
that's why it's so hurtful.
It'll feel like literally. It'll feel like somebody like my dog died.
Like somebody died.
Yeah, seriously.
No, I'm not kidding.
No,
that's the way. When I heard that on Saturday, it's like you just found out somebody you really care about has terminal cancer or something. I know that sounds weird, but
I texted Tony Saturday and I said, "Man, you've done a hell of a job, and you're a good man, And you've left this community better than you found it, and I wish you well in your next stop.
Yep.
That was my message
And
to
I do
him.
too. You know, Tony, you've nailed it from pillar to post on this guy, and it must be the Paisan in you and in him. He is a heart and soul, blood and guts kind of guy. And I do err on the side with Mr. Adams here. It will be that's why I don't think it's happened yet. I agree with that. It's just going to be difficult for him because, as you said, he views this place as his family. But here's, as a fan, and just seeing it from the outside and the periphery of what he did, he infused the entire athletic, not just basketball like Bruce Pearl, because everybody's been comparing him to Bruce Pearl. He infused the entire athletic department with energy. The catalyst for Danny Upcharge's Everything School, that's what we're calling him from now on, Danny Upcharge in my friend group, he was the catalyst to become the Everything School. Without him being the guy that he is, basketball, probably not moribund, but before he got here, moribund. I mean, even with Rick Barnes, it was like Rick didn't want to recruit. Tony challenged him to recruit. I'm not sure if he said it directly, but the way Tony came in and comported himself on the recruiting trail, it seems as though Rick Barnes took heed, right? Kimmy Hundo, young, healthy, energetic young person, giving her chance. There's another reason. And football, I mean, Tony Vitello's at more football games than Peyton Manning. He's at every game.
I think it's an interesting. Bino says Tony started the fire. That was Bino's word. Rick Barnes called that year he was over there when Evan Russell hit that home run against Vandy. Rick Barnes said that was magic. He said this place and what this guy's doing, his term was magic. Rick Barnes pretty nonplussed about a lot of things. He doesn't say things like that, John, unless he believes them.
If Tony comes back,
yeah,
somebody will write a song about him. Maybe you will.
I don't write songs.
I can do the lyrics if you do the music. I'll do the lyrics.
All right.
The Bruce Pearl comparison is so interesting because you have two guys that connected with the fan base. They were heart and soul. They infused life into an athletic department that might be a little bit going down, and yet there were some after a while that did not appear to back the coach after success, and the whatever led to Bruce Pearl's exit could have been prevented. Now it's a different circumstance, but it seems like that the whole thing might be playing itself out again.
Matt Dixon Penny, for your thoughts.
I mean, I've kind of, had thoughts throughout the show. I don't really have anything new to add. It's just, I just think that leaving here it will be too difficult for Vitello, and that's ultimately why he stays.
He's staying, Tony. You can start getting excited.
You don't believe that?
Yes, I do. You're afraid to get excited.
You told me when we started that he was leaving when you walked in the door today. What do you mean he's staying?
I wrote a column about him leaving, ready to run. I've changed my mind. I said I changed my mind. I thought about it more, and I think he's staying.
TLD Logistics Overdrive Overtime. No. What are we on? That's a different show. No, this is TLD Logistics. My brain. I'm going to short circuit here on the air. Hello and welcome in. You're on our TLD Logistics Overdrive Overtime. Hi.
Hey, Tony. This is Tom in Kentucky.
Hey, Tom. Welcome in.
Thank you so much. I've got a unique perspective on this because I moved up to Kentucky in 1990 when Rick Pitino took his job at the University of Kentucky. And I think John was correct earlier. If he stays, he's the new John Wooden of college basketball. And still probably one of the better coaches out there, for sure. But he's not as personable as Vitello, so I want to be really careful about this comparison. But he had the tiger by the tail in Lexington. He had restaurants. The the people loved him here. He was embraced because he did exactly what Tony Vitello did. In the time of just an athletic desert, when there was nothing going on in Knoxville, like a phoenix from the ashes, he pulled the whole athletic department up.
Yeah, you had Jeremy Pruitt as your football coach.
My favorite thing, my favorite thing about the Pruitt era is when Tony was on here one day and he said, I kind of like this hypo guy. He said he actually says hello to you when you walk by him in the hallway. I was like, whoa, okay. Well, I mean, okay. All right, Tony.
Jeremy didn't have time for him.
See, Tony, and that's the thing about Tony is Tony would say things like that on this show. I'm talking about him in the past tense. I shouldn't do that. Tony will say things like that on this show. He's so comfortable in our forum, but he's so comfortable around everybody, which is what I love about him. And he does not big time anybody. I've had so many people, Tom, tell me stories about interaction. And I think Pitino's the type of guy that does big time people, which I think is what would separate him from a Tony. Tony, when he's come down to Calhoun's, right, on those Fridays and been my hype man and fired the crowd up a time or two, and he was going to do it earlier this year, but he said, Tony, I've got 4 times as many recruits as we've ever had in on one weekend. Man, I'm going to have to let you down today. And I'm like, you ain't letting me down. It is what it is. I appreciate you being honest. And then I come to find out that he's got like a who's who list of recruits. How's he going to leave that, man? How's he going to leave that?
And you see, I think Tom can speak to this, but I think Kentucky fans found Pitino's arrogance appealing. It's like they want him to be king.
Yes.
He's the ruler of this empire,
yes.
And we expect him to walk out there in a $700 suit, like looking like he's got all the answers, because he does.
Adolph Rupp kind of carried himself like that too. He had kind of that air about him.
Yeah, they want a dictator running their basketball program, and that's what Rick was.
And Joe B. Hall it looked like me playing music in the park, like you want to flip him $1. No offense.
Yeah,
no offense.
Joe B. Hall won a national championship.
I know. No offense to me.
One of the nicest human beings you will ever meet.
There you
go.
Joe
B. Hall, one of the nicest. Speak to everybody.
There you go.
Run into him in Sam's, and he would speak to everybody.
You wouldn't run into Rick Pitino at Sam's.
No. The difference is that Basilio or that Tony is confident and Pitino is a narcissist. There's no question about that.
Yes.
That's a different comparison for a different day. But
great
I think
coach,
it was
though.
even more. I'm sorry.
I just said he was a great coach.
He's still an amazing coach.
Yes.
But for today, the magic is never reclaimed. He went to Louisville, and it just like Bruce Pearl at Auburn. I don't think that this is lightning in a bottle. What he has at the University of Tennessee, and again, I'm like all the other callers. It's his choice to make, and ultimately we'll love him no matter what. But I don't think you can overstate the athletic desert that we were in. And Bino tried to do this, but I don't think you can overstate the athletic desert we were in that Tony pulled us out of. And just that's what endeared him. He, sort of like the royalty you were talking about, John, he reminded Tennessee fans that we're not a fly-by-night school or program. When everybody was just knocking every job that we had, every opening that we had, he gave us something to have some pride in, and he'll always be remembered for that.
Oh, Tom, thank you, man. Appreciate the call. I don't want to hear those past tense calls. Go ahead, Bri.
The Angels have hired Kurt Suzuki as their new manager, so they are hiring managers this week. The Angels hired Suzuki, so it's
the season right now.
Is the Angel fan base just going absolutely crazy? Are crowds gathering at the stadium with the news?
I mean, the Angels have a really good organization.
The money well spent is what I think of with the Angels.
They managed to have Ohtani doing what he does, and Mike Trout in his prime, and I think they got to the playoffs one time.
It was It was Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig.
I mean, it's a real accomplishment, Matt. You know that Angel organization down through the years? You talk about an idiotic
And look how much money they paid Albert Pujols when he had bad feet.
Jimmy Haslam ought to buy the Angels, okay?
And Josh Hamilton when he had
oh my gosh, poor
off
Josh
the field
Hamilton.
issues. Yeah, and all the money they gave those two guys.
Back to the phones we go. They did make one playoff, right, Matt?
I think it was a wild card game.
I'm
in
not sure.
2014.
Yeah, it would have been the one game deal, and they obviously lost it.
But gosh,
I mean, what are we doing, dude?
I actually covered the Angels in a playoff game one year, many years ago, when they played the Red Sox.
Oh, back in the day.
In the 80s.
Oh, I love those teams.
And then when Donnie Von Moore gave up that home
Donnie
run.
Moore. Oh. Hello and welcome into our next call. Don Baylor hit it, right? Hello and welcome into our next call. You're on the air.
I think he did.
Hey, what's up, guys? Josh, your boy.
Wingzo.
Hey. So, Tony, I'm going to start with Tennessee football, and I'm going to end on Tennessee baseball. Can we all agree that the reason we think the defense is so bad this year is because that last year Heupel slowed everything down, and this year they're mostly going up-tempo. I get they have their two best cornerbacks out, but can we all agree on that?
No, Josh, I think Tennessee is still not going the consistent pace that it maintained in 2022.
Yeah, they slowed it. Both teams the other night. Both teams slowed
Yeah,
that
they
game
did.
down. Both teams on offense slowed that game down the other night.
Yeah. Looking at the stats in total defense, and we're like 116th, I believe, this year overall.
I think they're 107th in scoring defense, but in SEC games that's the killer. SEC games 36.5 per game.
You guys heard the expression, you are what your record says you are. Our defense is pretty much, our defense is what it is.
You think it's a 36.5 per game defense?
Yeah. It's not going to get any better. We just got to outscore teams that we play going forward in the rest of the season.
Josh, how many points do you think Vanderbilt would score on Tennessee this week if they play?
I think they'd put up at least 30 to 35 plus against our defense.
You know what's going to be crazy, guys? Hey, Matt, if we don't figure something out in the middle of the field, that freaking tight end from Vanderbilt is going to go off on us.
He's going to eat us alive.
That Stowers guy can really
yeah.
play.
What gets me about Vanderbilt, though, is their offensive and mainly their defensive linemen. They just crushed LSU.
They're 22-year-old men out there. It's what they are, and they're mid-major.
Who is paying these guys?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hey, Mr. Adams, do you think right now if Tennessee and Georgia Tech would play on a neutral field, would you favor Tennessee or Georgia Tech?
Georgia Tech.
Yeah, I would too.
Their offense will go up and down the field on Tennessee, and Tennessee wouldn't get the ball that often.
No.
I don't know about that, guys.
What
you
do
don't
you
know
mean
about
you don't
that,
know?
Tony? Their offense would eat our defense alive. They'd go up the
Georgia
up
Tech
and down the
plays.
field against us.
They play down to everybody they play, and they play in close games, and they've won with mirrors all year. Come on, guys. Now they're well coached. They're well coached. They're well
Tony,
coached.
Brent Key is automatic as a dog.
Oh, you mean covering? Oh, no question. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. I don't think Georgia Tech would be an underdog if they played Tennessee on a neutral field.
Oh, I don't know what
Tennessee,
they would power rate.
3.5, maybe
yeah,
4.5.
Two, 3.5. Yeah, I don't have it in front of me.
Yeah.
I got Tony on my mind, man. I got Tony on my mind.
Yeah.
I got a man on my mind.
So, how do we feel, Tony? I know we're probably going to get by Kentucky this week, judging since Heupel has been here, he's pretty much Kentucky on the road and here. So how do we feel about Oklahoma at home? I know we're really good at home under Heupel.
Well, I think I wrote this the other day, Josh. I think Tennessee's biggest challenge remaining is clearly Vanderbilt to me. John Mateer hadn't been the same QB since he broke his hand. He came back too soon. Now, Oklahoma's defense, Tennessee hadn't seen anything like that.
And don't count going to at Florida, John. We've seen that series for over a year.
Isn't that amazing? And I think most Tennessee fans feel the way you do. You look at that Florida. Here's a case where you say, well, they lost their head coach. They'll be in disarray. Not having Billy Napier calling plays, not having Billy Napier on the sideline on game day, that's a plus. Florida just gained a few points.
Right. Guys, I'm going to end my call with this. Whenever Tony does make his decision, I really hope he pulls a Jordan Belfort, gets on the mic and says, I'm not leaving.
Brian, has anybody tweeted that they're out there on the practice field right now? It was supposed to begin. Have we seen that anywhere? Perhaps.
Yeah, Tony Vitello is in the building. Is there?
No. Are they out on the practice field? Has Mike Wilson tweeted that yet? The media that's over there.
I just sent a text. Mike Wilson just said that Tony Vitello is reported for practice today.
Okay, very good.
He said that he just walked back into Lindsey Nelson Stadium as Tennessee is setting up for practice and a scrimmage.
John, what's that mean to you?
He's staying.
Practice and a scrimmage.
He's staying.
Matt, why would he go through a practice and a scrimmage and then tell his team he's leaving?
That would be painful. He'd be crying.
Matt, why would he do that?
Well, I don't think he would do that.
He back.
Here's the thing about it. This would be really interesting how Tony would handle this. If, in fact, he stays, right? Let me ask you. You've worked around PR all your life, you know, and media people are pretty good people to consult to ask about, like, how would you handle something? So, John, if you're him, would you have a press conference to announce that you're staying, or would you just tell the Giants no thank you and just go about your business and not call attention to yourself? How would you do it? And I'm going to ask you, Matt, the same thing. Would you call a press conference and make a big deal out of it, or would you just call Jimmy Sexton and say, hey, I've come to a decision. Hey, look, thank them. And I'm going to tell Buster later. I'd love to talk to him. Or maybe you text Buster Posey. Then you text your agent or you call Buster Posey. And if in fact that's what you're going to do, would you call a press conference, John? Yes or no?
No. And I don't think Tony Vitello would call a press conference.
How about a lot of these guys? What would they do?
I don't think most people in that position would do it. Some would. They're just – but what you don't want to say is there is an opportunity if you do it the right way, but I don't think I'd do it on the press. I think I'd call up the Tony Basilio show. I think I'd call up your show.
Yeah.
And I'd say, Tony Bennett wrote a song. Or no, he didn't write it. He sang a song.
Yeah.
I left my heart in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Well, I couldn't go to San Francisco and leave my heart in Knoxville, Tennessee.
And by the way, about Tony Bennett, his real name is Tony Benedetto. He is Italian.
I know he's Italian.
And there's a huge enclave of Italians that live in San Francisco.
Yes.
DiMaggio's originally from there.
Yeah.
Billy Martin's originally from that area. A lot of Italians out there. That's an interesting sidebar from the community that he'd be going to.
I don't mean to disparage your heritage, but I never really heard. Was
The
there
Whoppers.
ever a big mafia presence in San Francisco? I don't ever remember. It was in New Orleans. It was in Chicago, New York, but I never. The
this-
mafioso in San Francisco.
This damn guy, sometimes he just needs to shut the hell up. You know it. On your TLD Logistics Overdrive Overtime. Hi, welcome in. His nonsense presented by Jennifer Morris, Next Move, SmokyMountains.com. His slurs and all that stuff presented by Jennifer Morris, Next Move, SmokyMountains.com. When you're in the market for a home, don't you dare talk to anybody but the great Jennifer Morris, Next Move, SmokyMountains.com. John. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Tony, it sounds like you're saying being a Paisan is on the pro side, but John's saying it's on the con side.
Interesting. And with the accent on con, I like how you did that. Thank you.
This is Orange Blood. Just thought I'd kind of tangent off a couple things the other callers are saying. The Tony situation, it is unique because of kind of is unprecedented, and I believe he has earned it, and I think a lot of us treat him like family. If he wants to go there, we're going to be fine with that. I mean, it's going to hurt, of course. But to tangent off of that, I've been sitting here on hold thinking of other teams that have other programs that have the four main programs, men and women's basketball, football, and baseball, that are all perennial top 25 teams and powerhouses. And what you mentioned about earlier about how we're under these new rules, I think we talked about it before the football season, where we're going to have cap, I'm using quotation marks, cap, and then we have NIL, outside Spire type money to supplement that. How many of these other programs are in the position like we are? Let's look at LSU and let's see, historical, let's just focus on basketball. Vanderbilt, Arkansas, North Carolina. A lot of these teams had baseball teams that are perennially pretty good too. So, looking at the business side of it, you've got a finite amount of dollars to go somewhere. And like to Gray's point about factors that go into a job change decision, one of them is dissatisfaction with your current employer. So how many of these other schools are going to be put in the same situation that we've heard that we're in, where one program gets a little bit more money and taken away from somebody else and another coach?
That's exactly what they've done. That's why this is untenable. This whole thing with caps and all that stuff, the whole thing makes it all untenable, because inevitably, what's caught Tennessee, and it's caught a lot of people, is they promised this money by July. They knew the cap was coming. There was a date in July. I think July 1 was the date. And they knew there were caps coming, and that's why those football programs spent like drunken sailors. But these football programs are going to have to go back to some of these kids and go, hey, these deals that we agreed to, we don't have the money now to pay you unless we pay you under the table. Would you like your money under the table? And the answer is, John, would you like your money under the table?
Yeah.
Okay.
Here, Tony, but the thing about this stuff,
yeah,
it could be different in 6 months. It could be different in 3 months.
No question.
All somebody has to do is some player, some college athlete has to challenge this in court. You don't have to approve my NIL deal.
There's word out there on different sites, and people are speculating, and I thought I was crazy yesterday, that there are players on this current team who are shorted so far in their NIL funds. Guess what? That's what I'm talking about. Now, as a head coach, would that bother you, John? If you had guys that thought, and you thought that you had a pile of money. Hey, listen, you know the old saying, follow the money. Follow the money.
Right here.
Follow the money.
Laura just handed me a check. She just handed me a check.
Follow the money. It's like, this is not that difficult. And by the way, this is not about Tony and him wanting more money. That's not what this is about. Like, some people are going to think that. That's not what this is about.
No, he's a special situation, like I said. I'm just looking. I'm looking. I mean, this. We've discussed it, and to me, I think it's a settled thing. We're on. If he goes, he goes. It's unprecedented. But can you tell me anybody? It's never been this close. But has Jay Johnson or some of these other premier college guys got this close? I don't follow it enough to know.
No, it's never happened.
Tim Corbin never has.
No, it's never happened.
And that's another one that would.
It's never happened in the sport. There's never been. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, look at basketball, though. Basketball is a different sport, but there's probably a dozen names that went from college to the pros. Some had success. Larry Brown won a championship in both. Billy Donovan went, about 10 years ago or so. So it seems like it's more prevalent there. I don't know what the difference is. Maybe it's a culture thing. MLB want their insiders a lot more. But I just think there's going to be other programs. They're not going to have maybe an MLB opportunity for their coach, but they're going to be putting a squeeze. And some of these blue blood schools, basketball and baseball too, who also have football, are going to be putting a squeeze. And yeah, I think Tennessee has been they've been the leader. We were kind of the pioneer in this NIL thing a couple of years ago with what we've done. And here we are with a coach that's doing something unprecedented. So, I think that's a feather in our cap. It just comes with success. But anyway, that's all I got.
Thank you. What do you think, John? Feather in our cap?
Oh, I think Tennessee caught on to this quicker than a lot of programs did. An example I use is Florida. I really think if Florida would have had its NIL house in order, it hired Dan Mullen, I think Florida would have won a lot of games. Everybody criticized he didn't get the job done in recruiting. Well, NIL does your recruiting for you now. He's 3 times a better coach than Billy Napier. But see, Florida had his help, and Billy Napier's done a nice job of bringing this together. He's, I think, a decent program builder. He's improved their talent level, but he can't coach. And he won't admit he can't coach, so he keeps calling plays. And the plays aren't working. But if Dan Mullen, with a strong NIL program, I think Penn State would be wise to look at Dan Mullen. Kind of off topic here, sorry.
No, it all ties together because at the end of the day, it's like the chicken and the egg. What comes first? And the truth is, there's a reason why Danny White clawed some of that money back to Tony to give to that women's basketball coach. Because you build your roster with how much money you have. It's the reality of it. And he wants his hire to succeed.
Of course.
Yeah.
He hired an unknown coach.
Uh-huh. And I said in my write-up, she is extremely talented and has a bright future. But there was a way to do that without the way they did it. They didn't have to go one for the other. And that's the way Tony perceives it. And that's not good, John. That's not good.
Well, but I think above Danny White,
mm-hmm.
I think that Donde Plowman,
mm-hmm.
the chancellor,
mm-hmm.
understands the situation. I think Randy Boyd,
mm-hmm.
president of the university system, understands the situation.
Mm-hmm.
They've completely changed Tennessee athletics by making smart decisions, by providing exceptional leadership when that was so lacking for so long. They understand this.
Back to our phones we go. I mean, Matt, when I put out what I put out yesterday, and I wrestle with that, right? I wrestle with that, Matt, whether or not to kind of lay it all out. Because I've mentioned it on the show. Mentioning it and writing it are two completely different things in the culture that we're in, the ecosystem. Because when you write something, people screenshot it and share it, and that's, and then it goes out. Most people, Matt, don't believe that.
which I find it kind of unbelievable because it's such a dumb thing to do. You know what I mean, Matt? Like, it's dumb. That's a dumb thing to do from UT's management.
Yeah, it is. It's something that's just a self-inflicted mistake that you didn't have to make. And I don't know. I don't know why you would even entertain the idea of doing that, much less going through with it.
I mentioned to Matt back in the summer when this
anything to alienate the best coach on campus is just stupidity.
And then somebody like me who sees Danny White, I think Danny's a big ego guy. I just do. And that's okay. Big ego guy. One of the first things out of his mouth at that press conference is, we're going to fix the leaks around here. That's why I started calling him Danny the Plumber. Call Danny the Plumber, he'll fix your leaks. Call Danny the Plumber. Oh, I'm sorry, that jingle's already taken. But here's the thing. Here's the thing, John, before you get your thought in.
Butt in?
No, you're not butting in. It's fine. The thing is, you could always see that those two guys are going to have conflict with each other, which is what I said in the blog yesterday. Danny will look at Tony as a total irritant. And Tony will look at Danny as, you're not for me. Tony is extremely linear the way he thinks. That world is made up of people that are either with me or they're against me. And he's the same guy who's called out fans in our building for getting up and leaving, or there weren't enough people here tonight, or this year, Matt, one of the guys was chewing on one of the players. Who was it, Matt? Do you remember? And he screamed at the guy. Screamed at him. One of our fans.
I think it was Nate Snead maybe that they were talking about.
There you go.
I think.
Somebody was really riding him, and Tony finally had enough.
Pitcher.
And he popped out of the dugout and said, shut the F up. Stop it.
Well, didn't his
dad got involved? The guy was even wearing a Vitello jersey, too, which made it better.
I mean, that's who this dude is. And look, he's not for everybody. He's not. I get it.
Would
he
do
like
that?
Danny and him, John, are always going to be oil and water, aren't they? That's just kind of the way it is. And Danny didn't hire him, and it wasn't his idea. And he wants everything to kind of be. Look at what he did to the band with the band this year. Look, and I'm not crusading on Danny White. If Tony goes, ultimately, it's not Danny White's doing. Tony decided to go. He's a grown man, and I kind of hope we'll leave Danny White alone. But the backstory is that there is a backstory, and that's why I told the backstory. That's all. The backstory on this thing is that there is a backstory to this. But, John, if he leaves, ultimately, it's his decision.
Yes.
It's not Danny White's doing.
No. I agree.
You could almost tell during the 2021 season there was a rift between the two. That's been over there for about 4 or 5 years now.
In what season, Brian?
The 2021 season, I could feel something.
That might have been Ajita. Hello and welcome into our next call on your
Could have been
TLD
that, too.
Logistics Overdrive Overtime. I know I'm getting it from eating too fast here. Hi, welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, guys. How you guys doing?
Hey, Greg, welcome in.
Hey, John and Matt. Hope you guys are doing well. Tony. One thing I want to say about this situation is we've got a godsend in Miss Plowman. She stepped up before, stepped up again this time, and hopefully got it straight with Danny White. You don't interfere with a man's money. He's already got laid out for the guys he's got coming in. You know, everybody's said it before. 3 World Series in 4 years, championship of one of them. Hey, what the hell in your right mind any athletic director would do crazy crap to ruin chances of keeping this guy until he's an old man? I mean, And I think y'all know him, Tony. You know Tony better than I do, being up there and being around him several times. Do you think really if he was headed out, and I feel good now, since you said they're having a scrimmage game, do you think he would still bring all these guys into that today and have a scrimmage game or whatever it is he's having and then tell everybody he's leaving? I don't think so.
I have no
I just
idea.
don't feel.
I don't think so either, Greg.
I have no idea how to read that.
Oh, I do. You don't do that if you're leaving.
Matt, what do you think?
I just think that he as long as he's on campus and involved in doing all that stuff, it makes it harder and harder to leave.
But why would you put yourself through that if you think you're leaving? You're
That's
not going out.
That's why I don't think he's leaving, because I think the likelihood of him staying just increases the longer this drags on and the longer he's here on campus and going through things like normal.
Greg, I will literally hit the floor tonight and pray to Mecca if he stays. I'll be so damn excited.
You and me both, brother.
I said that with a mouthful of food, Greg. A mouthful of damn food. Talking with my mouth full. I'm so pumped thinking about it.
I feel a lot better about it since I heard about the scrimmage. Looking in the past, other guys that have left, do they have a scrimmage game with their guys and then leave? I don't see it.
Sounds like something Lane Kiffin would do.
Okay.
Well, yeah, maybe him. But
hey, think about guys that have left Tennessee and regretted it. Lane Kiffin, probably. Doug Dickey.
Doug Dickey for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Took that
Bruce
Florida
Pearl would have come crawling back.
Yeah, but Bruce Pearl didn't have a choice.
Yeah, they fired him.
Bruce Pearl wouldn't have left.
No, he would have never left.
And on top of that, I don't know what he's been offered money-wise, but who in the hell in their right mind would leave the state of Tennessee with no state income tax and pay 14%?
Oh, it's way more than that in California. And living out in San Francisco, let me tell you something, buddy. That is super, super expensive. That's one of the most expensive places to live in the world, man.
It's not a real clean place either.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a really beautiful city, though.
It is beautiful.
It's gorgeous there.
And you can walk. You can walk all over that city. There's so much.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a small city geographically.
Yeah,
you
it's
can walk
really neat.
everywhere, but I don't know how much walking you want to do there now.
Well, you'd step in a lot of stuff. I'll
That's
tell you this.
That's what I mean.
I'll tell you this.
Better be wearing boots.
Greg, if you go on YouTube at night, if he stays, I might host a Streets of San Francisco marathon, because they have that all over YouTube, and I love watching the Streets of San Francisco with Carl Malden,
that
Michael Douglas.
Big,
awesome show. Yeah. You remember it, Greg? You remember the Streets of San Francisco?
I do. One of those classics.
And you had that ABC announcer that had a voice that sounded like this, and he'd go, "This up next, it's the Streets of San Francisco."
Sorry about that.
But just my 2 cents, gentlemen. I think he's staying. I don't think any man that respects his players he has now would do what he's going to do today and then turn around and tell them all he's leaving. I just don't see it unless he meets them at the beginning when they get out there and he tells them he's leaving. I don't know. I'm just hoping they have a scrimmage game and he's here next year when the new season starts. I'm all for it. I think he's got a good chance, once again, going back to the World Series with who he's got coming in and winning it again. So
thank you, Greg.
So if Tony coming back, don't you think he needs to get after that construction crew too and get that stadium business done?
Matt likes that.
That's bothered the hell out of me for like 4 years, how that thing gets just being drugged.
Is that
as slow as possible for some reason?
Matt, do they have a press box elevator yet? I can't walk up those steps. 7 knee operations. Can't do it.
They don't have. They wasn't an elevator last year, but it was some kind of lift that they had.
No thanks. Some
Yeah.
kind of lift.
Yeah, like one of
raises
those parking garages.
Raises
like a
questions.
magic carpet.
Well, you had the guy over there pulling the pulley for you. You had to pull the pulley, pull yourself up and down. Let's go back.
Maybe they need to get a magic Uber instead.
Is it swaying back and forth while you're going up?
I just don't understand.
Yeah, it's like a construction lift. I
Oh
can't
my
remember what it's
gosh.
called. But yes, it's,
That's
Why
like
it
liability.
did not look safe.
Why does this damn
That's
guy have
like-
to be so talented that we're here today, Matt? I just wish he wasn't so talented.
Well, you can't look at it that way.
Why?
You've got to think of all the if you want to think he's leaving, then think back at all what you have missed if he would have never come here.
Oh, that's
wouldn't
that
have-
whole thing about you'd rather love than lose than
Yeah, exactly.
never love.
It's just like if you lose a loved one and you think, well, God, it hurts so much. Well, would you have rather not have that loved one? Of course not. So treasure those moments you had, Tony. Treasure them.
Part of me still just thinks it might be one big power play, and he had never had an intention of leaving.
Well,
Part of me thinks that might be true.
you wouldn't be the only. I mean, he wouldn't have been the only coach to do that.
John, if he stayed, would he emerge with more power now?
Oh, he would emerge. I didn't think it was possible, but he will be more popular than ever. I mean, because,
Or is he wearing people out? He might lose some
no,
popularity
he's not.
over this.
No.
No?
No. This is too emotional. No, people
He's
don't
winning
want-
too much.
Yeah, but he's winning people over. People love him. They don't want him to leave. It's just like
Such a sweet guy.
it's
man.
just like if Laura would tell Tony Basilio, Tony, I've had enough of this marriage.
Which I do dream that a lot.
I'm gone. I'm gone, Tony. It's been good. We've had some good times, but I need to get on with my life. It's not you, it's me.
Hey, Matt, Gary Saunders says it's going to feel like we did in 2022 and we got beat by Notre Dame if we find out he's leaving later today. Shock and awe.
Yeah. Maybe worse.
Maybe
Yeah, I
worse.
think worse.
Oh,
because-
worse.
Much worse.
That was a boy. And you know what? Normally, like if Tennessee lost that kind of game in football, fans would be angry. They would be irate. The coach blew it. The team blew it. Oh, my God. We had the best team and we didn't win. It wasn't that way with Tony.
No, it was a funeral, man.
No, it was like, oh, my gosh. I wanted Tony to get to the World Series so bad. Again.
I also think. Go ahead.
You go ahead, Brian.
It's a family connection.
That's right.
You want your family members to be happy, to be successful.
I also felt like after that Notre Dame series, though it was hard to deal with, that there'd be other chances that he'd get them back there.
Another night,
to Omaha,
another
because
another night, another winner for me. Over on VIP play, my Flyers last night got the big dub against the Kraken. As Bino said yesterday, no thank you. When I asked him if he wanted to venture a guess as to who would win, he goes, I stay away from Kraken, which Bino's a witty guy. But VIP play, the welcome bonus is yours right now. You make a $20 bet, you're going to get $100 in bonus bets instantly. I'm on a roll right now. My hockey plays. I might start publishing them. Over on Twitter. My hockey plays. The promo code is TNTony. Again, TNTony. Live always, 200-plus leagues around the world to bet on. Numerous bet types, props, options. What did y'all think last night of the doubleheader? Brian, what do you think of the Lions as my pick to get out of the NFC right now and represent the NFC, Brian?
Well, I kind of think that Rams team might be another that you could put some chips on.
Well, and
that could get out of the NFC.
You can bet your futures over at VIP Play, where everybody gets treated like a VIP. Gambling problem, 800-889-9789, 21 and over, located in the state of Tennessee to place a bet. We'll be back for another edition on Thursday of Winners and Losers presented by Dos Equis /VIP Play. Listen, I'll say this. Those guys keep hating on my Eagles, and my Eagles keep winning. And, Brian, your London fog over the weekend, that was rough, man. The Jaguars.
It seems like they ever since Trevor Lawrence fell down twice against the Chiefs, that was a microcosm of the next 2 weeks because the Jags sure fell down and they didn't get back up this time.
Back to the phones we go. John, what's your sense right now? Good news or bad news today?
Good news. There's going to be hallelujah. There are going to be people out in the street dancing. There's going to be confetti falling. There's going to be rockets launched and fireworks going off.
I'll tell you what I'm going to do. If he announces he's staying, I'm getting him down at Calhoun's on Friday.
He's not coming there.
Oh. You like that, Matt?
Yeah, I just heard thunder. They're probably going to put the scrimmage in a damn weather delay.
Did you really just hear thunder?
He might just go ahead and have the scrimmage anyway.
That's a great line, Brian, because he does. He is a known meteorologist in meteorological circles. Oh, man.
Possible light rain. Chance of light rain in the next hour.
Jennifer Morris is so cool. She told me, she said, Tony, this is how big of a moron I am. She said, I've been wearing my Tennessee rally cap on all day. She said, I got up and put it on with my robe. She said, before I looked at any social media today, I've worn my rally cap all day. Jem, would you please send me a photo of you in your rally cap?
Don't put it on social media, though. She's a businesswoman.
It humanizes her. Are you kidding me? Hello and welcome into our next call. Your TLD Logistics Overdrive Overtime. Hi. Hello, you're on the air. Welcome in. Hi, you're on the show. Welcome in.
Hello.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, yeah, this is Dan with NorCal Sports Network out in the Bay Area.
Oh,
and,
hey, Dan. Good to hear
give a
from
Giants perspective.
Yeah, do that, man.
On,
yep.
Yeah. The Giants have had since Bruce Bochy left, they've had two experienced managers in Gabe Kapler and Bob Melvin, and neither did it go well. Both were fired, and you hear a lot of talk about the Giants, or a lot of Giants fans are out here talking about, they don't like this move. They think they need an experienced manager. Well, Buster Posey is part owner, not just president of baseball ops, but he's one of the minority owners. He can take a risk by hiring Tony, whereas a lot of other president of baseball ops who are not part of the ownership group would probably not take a risk of hiring someone with no Major League Baseball experience. So I think Tony this might be his one and only chance to take a Major League Baseball job. And I'm not so sure he passes it up. I've been listening to you guys saying, he's practicing and all that.
Yeah.
It's very possible that Tennessee has come back with another offer and this thing's just not settled yet. So he's not going to just stop practicing. He's going to show up because we've all interviewed for jobs at other places and we don't just quit until it's actually finalized. Now, I do hear what you guys are saying, that he's a high character guy and he probably wouldn't show up to practice and then just leave. But I'm also thinking maybe things are in negotiation still, and until that gets finalized, he's just going to continue to go on as he should.
You know what? That's an excellent point. I'll have to say, go ahead, John.
Well, no, it is a very valid point.
Yes, it is.
But I don't believe they're in the negotiation stage anymore. I think you're past that, and the ball is in Tony's court.
Yeah.
And he's agonizing over the decision because it's so personal, so heartfelt. He just is having a hard time making a decision. I think the negotiations are done.
How long would they wait anyway?
Well, I think they've given him look, and Dan, you can speak to this. Generally, with those major league jobs, that's why the initial reporting on this from whoever it was that had the story with the Athletic, it was
Andrew Baggerly. Yeah,
there you go. within 72 hours, he said, we're going to know something. These major league jobs do not like you to dally around. They do not like to play around in terms of you're not on your own schedule. You're on their schedule. And my sense is something's going to happen today.
Yeah, something happens today because it was not going to be announced during the American League Championship Series. Baseball doesn't like you jumping in. As we hear, Kurt Suzuki's been hired by the Angels today.
Yep.
I think the announcement comes out one way or the other today that that Tony either accepts the job or and I for one, I think it would be great. I think the Giants they have been a very boring team, and Buster Posey is a guy that thinks out of the box.
Yep.
And I think the relationship between Tony and Buster would be fantastic. And I just think this is definitely innovative and would be totally thinking out of the box for Buster. And I want to get your guys' perspective on baseball here. We got after the 26th season, there's going to be a possible
lockout,
and there's going to possibly be a new CBA.
Yep.
Do you think that Buster may be looking ahead at this and saying, hey, we may have to cut back on salaries at some point, or there's a cap and we need to draft and develop? Well, who better than Tony Vitello to know who to help bring along these high schoolers and these college players and start drafting and developing and making, because that's how the Giants won their 3 world championships. And, 10, 15 years ago, it was homegrown guys. Yep. And now, they have struggled with, for years. And, I think Tony could be a real spark and not just help on the diamond, but help the front office with some of these decisions that they're going to have to make with players.
Matt Dixon, what do you think? Because that is going to happen. There is an expectation that this next season we're going to have baseball, and the following year we're not. The owners have to get some kind of fiscal responsibility back into the sport. And then the lesser teams have been totally taken out of play. They're like minor league teams that exist within the sport. And there's probably 18 teams that are vying and trying to win, and about 12 teams that are just sort of runaround cars for those NASCAR fans out there. Matt, what's your sense of Tony Vitello existing in an environment like that?
I think he's been really good at the roster, management here, recruiting, identifying, developing guys is obviously a strength of him and his staff. And I think with him and Buster Posey would probably be on the same page, and that would make that a much easier thing for those two to do together, as opposed to a lot of these organizations where it feels like they're just totally separate. They're just cut off from each other, really. So that's probably one of the pulls and one of the things that the Giants are probably angling here. I got my question for our guy in San Francisco. And he, just kind of the end of the bench guy that only came up late in the year, but Drew Gilbert kind of had a spark for that team, maybe more so in the locker room than actually on the field. Do you think that in any way plays into Posey's kind of wanting to get Vitello, because no player has embodied what the Tennessee baseball under Vitello is more than Drew Gilbert?
Yeah, I think Drew Gilbert was a huge spark to the club. The club has been, you see a lot of these teams, you watch the Blue Jays last night and they put the jacket on with the home run, and you see other teams celebrate, the Mariners got the Triton and they hold that. The Giants have been a very boring team, and Drew Gilbert lit a spark under this club, and his demeanor, his just exuberance, I don't know if you guys saw the clip of Drew Gilbert chewing on Robbie Ray's jersey in the dugout. It was hilarious. He was like chewing on his jersey like a dog, and and Robbie Ray, an old veteran, was just kind of cracking up. That brought a lot of lightness to the Giants, and just the players love Drew, and I think that baseball is starting to go more that way. I think you're starting to see a lot of these college players come in and have success right away. Guys, Nick Kurtz came in this year and hit over 30 bombs for the A's. And you see in this college movement, I think the game's going to start shifting in a way, because these players that are coming from college right now, and even the younger players with travel ball, they're so much more developed in terms of being able to throw high velocity, hit better, and where they lack and where Tony can really help, I think, is some of the fundamentals of the game. They're more skilled, but they lack in some of the fundamentals, I think. And so I think the game is going to shift more toward a lot of these younger players. And you're seeing some of the aging vets, actually, that are in there. They still can play. For example, Brandon Belt played for Toronto a couple years ago, had a good season. No one offered him a contract the next year. He was still viable and could hit, but I think you're seeing a lot of these older guys in the 30s, they're getting phased out, and it's becoming a younger game.
Dan, Tony Vitello is a rock star here in Knoxville, and in college baseball as a whole is a way. Charismatic personality. The women love him. He's really good looking. My wife thinks he's the best looking guy on the planet. Can a major league manager now, can a major league manager be a rock star? Is that possible?
I don't think it would be anything like it is in college town, like Knoxville. That you're in, you're in the Smoky Mountains there, and I've been through there. I almost moved to Knoxville years ago with a job offer, but it didn't come through. But I could tell you that he will be a star in San Francisco, because he would relate to the community. Like you guys were talking earlier about an Italian community. There is a sect of Italian. I'm Italian myself. Coach Emilio is my last name. So I think he would be fantastic for a city that just is starving for winning baseball again. The Giants, and the other thing you guys got to think about, this is one of the most iconic franchises in baseball, really in sports. They are the number one team in baseball all time in victories, regular season victories. And, they're not the LA Dodgers as far as popularity or the Yankees, but they are right up there. You're talking Dodgers, Yankees, Giants, Red Sox, Cubs, right? Maybe the Cardinals and Atlanta. Those are the top teams that have, and this is a huge opportunity for him. I don't know if he's going to take it or not. And like you guys said, the ball's definitely in his court at this point, and it's decision time. But it's got to be pressing on him. Like you said, he's a rock star, and to walk away from that. But you also have to look at he's 47. A lot of people make career path changes at that point. It's either now or never, in my opinion. I don't think he makes this move later on. I think if he keeps this, he's going to stay, right? He's going to stay for a long time, I would think.
Well, Dan, listen, I appreciate you. If folks want to follow along with your work, how do they do so? Go ahead and shout yourself out, and I appreciate you finding us.
Yes. The best way to catch us is at NorCal Sports Network on YouTube. We got the California flag. It's called NorCal Sports Network. If people would go over there and subscribe. And Tony, I'd love to have you come on as a guest.
I'd love it, man. You got it, brother. Please reach out to me. My website
is tclub.team. You can email me there and find me there. I'd love to visit with you.
That'd be great. What was that again? T-Club?
tclub.team. tclub.team. Yes, sir.
On the website? Okay, I will do that, Tony.
Thank
Great
you.
talking with you.
Wonderful
Really
talking to
appreciate it.
you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Yeah, I'd love to come on. And that's the interesting thing about the internet is, all these folks. I mean, we have on Twitter alone, we have 3,300 people viewing, several thousand people listening right now. And I do think something happens today, one way or another. I would believe that a major league organization would tell him, look, we got to know something here. That's my sense of this. That's why I opened today's show. And again, nobody told me that this is the day. I have a feeling. I mean, John, we've just been around this so much that you get, kind of your spidey senses get up, And you believe that too, right? We're going to hear something.
Oh, yeah.
Got to happen
Well,
today.
keep in mind, it's only 11 a.m. in San Francisco.
Yes.
So I think we'll hear something in the next hour and a half.
All right. In the meantime, I'm going to go get me a nap. Because it's already after 2 Eastern time. Matt, do you have anything, or Bride, do you guys have anything you'd care to add?
I got to wonder if being on Major League Baseball Network during the postseason, like he was on TV, I guess since 2022 or so, has played a factor in them thinking that maybe this guy is hireable. If somebody can make the jump, maybe this is the guy.
Well, you compare him to Patino, right? Patino was on the Major League, was on the NBA draft coverage every year when he was at Kentucky. It used to piss me off back in the 90s because it's such a recruiting advantage. And Brian makes up a great point. It really augments your credibility when you're seen in that light. Because that's the spot that Corbin used to get, right, Matt? Isn't that a spot Corbin used to get?
I don't know if they've ever had Corbin on there or not. I'm not sure he plays well on TV.
And if he appeared, would he wear his crash helmet?
He doesn't have that personality Vitello has, or even close to it.
Well, Vitello, when he goes on there, it's not just that he's very articulate and is good on TV. He also shows how much knowledge he has about players.
No question.
I mean, I was kind of taken aback when I was listening to him. Like, how does he know that much? Because we talk about all these attributes of Vitello and charismatic personality, all that kind of good stuff. But also the guy has been a relentless recruiter. And he's been good at identifying talent, not just selling that talent on coming to Tennessee, but he knows who the best players are. And boy, he could just right off the top of his head, he was talking about these guys. He had an opinion. He gave you insight into these prospects. I was really impressed with that.
Till we meet again, when news breaks out, we break in. When news breaks out, we break in. Matt, what time do we break in tonight? What do you think? I was going to go sit in the park and play music, but I'm not now.
Ooh.
I'm thinking probably about 5.
John, when news breaks out, we break in. What time will we break in?
An hour and 20 minutes from now.
Shit.
You better make it a real power nap. You better be a quick napper.
I need a Phrygian nap, man. John, any final thoughts for us on the way out?
No. I thought I wrote a pretty good column about him leaving, but now I think he's staying, so that column will never see the light of day. There's some regret there, but there would be more regret if he left, because got to think and look ahead at all the columns I might get.
Well, Tony's he's a content machine if he stays. And this little tug of war at the university level is kind of fun, too. It's going to be kind of fun to follow. All right, we love you. God bless. G to the B to the O. And I want to thank John Adams today, presented by Jennifer Morris, next to MoveSmokyMountains.com. I want to thank my friends at TLD Logistics. They're online at TLDLogistics.com. I want to thank Matt Dixon, Brian Hartman. It was terrific today. All the wonderful calls.
So thoughtful, so introspective. Nega Dave, I know you're out there somewhere. Thank you for not. No, I'm just kidding you, Nega Dave. You're my guy. You know that. We will be live with a special transmission when news breaks out. We'll break in. I do think something's going to happen today. We love you, Tony. You need to stay. Tony, don't do it. Don't do it, man. Just don't do it. Don't do it, T. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it, T. Don't make me do it, T. Don't do it, T. And don't make me do it, T. Don't do it and don't make me do it. In that order.
Jeez.
All right, let me run this back for those of you that can't get enough of our love, baby. But as soon as news breaks out, we'll break in. And I'm highly committed to the bit, as they say in the trade. John, I think we're both highly committed to the bit here. All right, let's run today's program back. My roan, as we say in the trade, my roan and me. Basilio.com or on your smartphone or tablet. Another thrilling, chilling, and sometimes spilling edition of the Basilio Show is on the way next. Tips are always appreciated here at TonyBasilio.com.
Listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
Tony Basilio welcoming you to the Tuesday edition. I think it's D-Day for Tony Vitello. I think something's going to happen today is my sense of this. I'm not sourced in that in any way, so to speak. I just have a feeling that today's going to be a day one way or the other. I think that Tony is in the process today of trying to figure out one way